close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're ready for some high octane Rainbow Six Siege tonight because we have quite a special treat. I'm CDAPS, joined here by a very special guest known as.
M16 Man 66.
And today we are casting some Invite League action. We've got a good cross divisional game between Virginia Tech and University of Maryland College Park.
Yeah, I guess I'm here representing the VT guys, but it should be a pretty interesting matchup. They've already played before once, and I think VT 2-0'd them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was the first cross divisional, which I believe was week 4. But now, as we go into week 8 of Invite League, it is the last little push to get your seeding correctly as you go into either playoffs or relegations.
Yeah, so we're starting on Consulate, and then I think we also have Cafe as our second map. So it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, both of these maps do lay or do lead more towards a little bit more of a structured play. I know
Mhm.
Consulate is very window heavy. If you have some good window players, maybe we'll see some Blackbeard, probably see some Nomad stopping some jump outs on both of these maps, and it should be definitely quite exciting.
Yeah, and then Cafe, also window heavy, pretty roam heavy too, so it should be interesting to see. It's a VT picked Cafe, I believe.
VT
So
picked Consulate.
pick Consulate? Okay. I know VT, one of their best maps is Cafe, so that should be pretty interesting, and they picked Consulate, so maybe they're confident on that as well.
Yeah, most likely as we're definitely whittling down to the end of the season. Most teams do definitely have their map pool quite defined in this instance. But speaking of being defined, we can go ahead and define the Virginia Tech lineup as they are all in the lobby right now. They are comprised of Florian, Bookshelf, Kiermer, Parcel, and Six. You have anything
Yeah,
special to say about any of those players?
Florian IGL, Parcel and 6 hard carry. Can I say that? Is that toxic?
I mean, you
Um,
saw the clip of Six the other. I think it was what 2 streams ago. He had a beautiful shot the other day on Cafe.
yeah, he's definitely he's a talented one. I wonder. I know he didn't take the Jaeger nerf too well. He was complaining about that a lot.
I can definitely imagine if any of you guys did not see in that instance, there have been some patch notes leaks for some possible test server trials where it would be Buck losing his frag grenades, Jaeger
Mhm.
going down to a 2 speed, and I think Ying gets an
Mozzie
extra
loses his shotgun.
Candela. Yeah, Mozzie loses his super shorty shotgun. It's a
Yeah. So
whole lot of
how do you
whole lot
feel
of
about
changes.
this? Because I got opinions, but I want to know how you feel.
Personally, I mean, I do believe from the instance, like from the standpoint that they have on Mozzie, Mozzie isn't it just an incredible operator right now, where he
Hmm.
can just literally do anything. He's a great
Yeah.
roamer. His gadget is actually a lot stronger than people thought it would be because it just denies
Hmm.
so much droning and intel on that side, as well as
Yeah.
having his nitro cell. I think he should have lost a nitro cell instead of losing the shotgun, though.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe even, like, reduce the pest to 2 and take away the nitro. I just think taking away the shoddy is just the wrong way of going about, balancing him.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think
know right
about,
now.
no nades on Buck?
I think I have a teammate who's a very big buck grenade player, and I think
Yeah.
his biggest gripe is just the way you properly play buck with your vertical control, and that's how
Mhm,
most people use him. Having grenades in
mhm,
that lineup, it does just it goes hand in hand. It works perfectly together, and taking that away kind of is trying to push him into like almost like a different role. So like he's
mhm.
not necessarily like a flex fragger where you have your soft breach kind of stuff. It's sort of really taking him away to a different like, oh yes, I can only open holes. I can't really do a whole
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah, I think, like, making maybe, like, taking away ammo and a skeleton key, but allowing him to keep nades would I think that'd be a better change. Because I mean, I think you're definitely right. The vertical control and what he is able to do because he has nades is one of the, like, the biggest, like, identifiers of his character. So, yeah, and then Jaeger 2 speed, that's just something.
Yeah, when you think of Jaeger, like I have a legendary skin for that Jaeger 416C combine, and it literally says the electric roamer on the side. So when you have a when you have a 3 speed, you're able to get to your deep roam kind of spots. You throw it on your utility and you go on out. But now
Mhm.
as a 2 speed, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to really get all of your stuff done. Maybe you're gonna have to be more of like a secondary roamer or soft roamer, a little bit of a lurker
Yeah.
since.
Yeah, I think for me at least, like when you look at Jaeger, one of the most powerful things about him that I think should have been addressed is his ADS, right? His ADS is incredible. But him being a 3-speed roamer is again that's what sets him apart from like Wamai. Like if you look at the two of them, they're both 2-2s, and Jaeger's a better gadget, but Wamai has like a slightly better gun, but Jaeger's gun is still good. So I feel like if you keep Jaeger's to 3-1 but make his ADS worse, like reduce its range or take away one of the ADSs, then, like, they are set apart in terms of what they bring to the team, and they're both still, like, unique. I don't know. I feel like slowing him down just doesn't address the problem, which is ADSs.
Yeah, ADSs are just so strong in that instance, but also like since they're so integrated into so many different site setups and every sort of team composition, any tweaks to those is going to have a whole lot of backlash from almost
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah, they could start with, like, reducing its range or maybe reducing its charges or taking away one of the ADSs. Like, I think taking away would be probably the most abrupt change because obviously you have setups where you have places for each of the ADSs. I think reducing the range might be able to reduce how overpowered they are in a sense, but still allow people to it has the same versatility, right? You can still set up 3. So, I don't know. I don't think that changing his speed will really impact him. He'll just be like a worse roamer, but what he brings to the team is unchanged. So, we'll see.
Yeah, he's definitely still going to be a strong operator no matter what you do to him. That's
Mhm.
just Jaeger. He's always going to be powerful.
Yeah, so we're still waiting for people to join.
And speaking about operators, I guess do you have a favorite operator that you like?
Oh
M16?
boy. Uh well, I'm usually close roam slash intel. So I've historically played a lot of Valk, but when Mozzie came out, I basically am playing just Mozzie because it's Mozzie. He's insane.
Yeah, he's a great
Um,
operator.
and I also play some Legion. So like that's like the sort of role that I usually play. But I can
Mhm.
fill because I'm our sub for VT. So like whoever's not there, I'm filling for. So I have to dabble in basically everything.
Yeah.
And then for attack, usually, I like anti-roams, so, like, sometimes play Nomad or Gridlock, but I also have, like, played, like, Buck, Zoff, like, some sort of, like, soft destruction, like, Flex player. But
Mhm.
again, it's filling there. I've been playing IQ in our scrims recently, and, yeah, that's an op that I'm not used to, but she's powerful. I mean, she's got a sick LMG, so there's that.
Oh yeah, the G8 is so powerful as a it just allows her to be just such a useful operator IQ. Just
Mhm.
because you have 3 speed, you have an insane gadget because it's essentially like Thatcher where it almost
It counters
counters
almost everything.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a LMG with an angled grip on it that kills as fast as the R4C. It's a very, very similar time to kill.
Yeah. So what operators do you run on attack and defense?
I'm definitely a big thermite boy. We love thermite Thatcher combination, whatever's sort of
Oh,
needed.
yeah.
Then on defense, I sort of roll through, play a little bit of smoke, a little bit of mute, a
Mhm.
little bit of pretty much anything that my team needs. I definitely play more of a hard support role in that I play
Okay.
the operators nobody else wants to play. So so nobody wants that UMP. Put me on castle. I'll put those barricades everywhere. I'll use the UMP. Who cares? Just hit heads.
Mhm. Yeah, we've what's funny is that, like,
Bookshelf.
we've w yeah, Christian loves Castle, especially Castle getting the super shorty was fantastic. Like, that's I feel like that was, like, just fantastic change to the operator. But Aiden also plays a bunch of Pulse, so I guess we do have a lot of ump players on our team, which is
Yeah,
more than you
parcel on
expect.
the yeah, parcel on the pulse is very strong. He's a very strong operator
He just
player pairing.
Yeah, he just runs around like a maniac, it's great. It's interesting to watch because you never know what he's gonna do next, right?
Yeah, it's he's using that pulse scanner as a really good way. I imagine there's a whole lot of comms going on. He's really relaying the information that he's gathering quite well and sort of helping his team to really swap around exactly where they are playing and pushing.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, Aiden really made me appreciate, like, what a good post player was, right? Because like, traditionally, when I've seen post player, it's like, okay, it gives you a lot of intel, it denies plants, it's a solid roamer, but, like, add his fragging ability into it, and, like, he does, like, crazy stuff, like,
Mhm.
for, Cafe 3rd floor, like, he would stand under Skylight and just chuck C4s on people who go near Skylight, like, things like that. It's, like, very aggressive post playing, and, like,
Yes.
his mobility is just something that's huge. I think a lot of people could learn, like, good mobility as, like, a roamer or a close roam, and being able to, like, not ever get caught with the like, droned out and killed is, like, huge. And, like, he's one of those players that I've really appreciated, like, what a good post player is.
Yeah, there's so many different like ways different operators can be played. In an instance when you
Mhm.
have you ever played with an insanely good Monty?
Yes, I actually have.
Yeah, playing with a good Monty is absolutely ridiculous. But speaking of ridiculous, it does seem as if Maryland has finally gotten their full 5 men into the lobby, so we will be seeing JS Huggy, Noob Smasher, Q Palms, and Manny from Ice Age coming in. And now we should be ready to go ahead and jump into Consulate.
You say Huggy, is it not
Yeah,
just huge?
it's Huggy.
Oh,
We've had this
well,
we've had this conversation with it before. It's Huggy.
you learn something new every day.
Yep.
Okay, so we're getting a band phase here.
Yes, we are.
What are we thinking for bands?
I think we're definitely. Actually, I don't know. I think they're gonna ban the Blackbeard here.
Yeah? Maybe BB,
Get BB
Jackal,
out of here.
Thatch.
I was actually
Okay,
gonna be a
there's Thatch.
Thatcher. Be a Thatcher
I
ban.
I
It
loo
is
I looked
definitely.
200 IQ with that last afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, I was just. Oh, they are defending first, so that does make sense. Seeing the Thatcher go ahead and
Mhm.
come off the board.
Yeah, so the question is Maryland gonna leave Jackal on the table, or are they just gonna go with, like, BB? I don't know.
I think they'll end up playing
Who
the BB. I
knows?
think they most likely will be taking Jackal off the board, trying to.
Yeah.
Actually, they might want to utilize him on offense to get rid of some roam presence that they deal with. He'll be a
Oh, Cap.
Capital. That's a
Sure.
whole lot of utility gone now.
Yeah. So that's boy, oh boy,
Capital
that's,
brings
you're not
a
beating
lot
the
to the table.
ADS.
Yeah, Capital definitely brings a lot to the table. And as of
Mhm.
right now, Wamai has not been entered into our player pool or like available pool. So Capital
Mhm.
is definitely incredibly strong. It doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of counters.
Maestro band, not Echo. Okay. There's some argument. Evil Eye's really good. Maestro has impacts. Echo doesn't.
Yeah,
So
both do a very similar job, but Maestro does seem to just bring a little bit more extra to the table.
I think Maestro should definitely be banned. I don't think Echo should be banned anymore at all. And the reason I think that is like you have people playing with Goyo. You need to bring so much destruction to get rid of Goyos and Maestros. Any his impacts and Echo doesn't. I just
Yeah,
feel like
plus
you
that
just you just
bailiff.
play the IQ and then you just counter the Echo and you have to do what you have to do. So we see a Mozzie pre-nerf. Looks like pretty standard stuff. See if anybody sixes in anything. Showing the Valk, so that's might six into something, or he just wants to share the Valk. No sixes.
Yep, so we will be seeing the first round being played on this top floor site that most teams do like to gravitate towards. The only thing that's sort of interesting about this site is that there are direct window plays where you can just swing straight into sight. So you do definitely have to structure your defense accordingly, as well as
Mhm.
that admin side on the east side of the map, that big old admin room that is a gigantic choke point in a very powerful positions that a lot of teams like to go for to get a lot of map control.
Looks like they're gonna be putting some resources towards admin. Got a Valk cam. Might have the Mozzie play in admin. Try to hold it for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely we'll be making use of those pests to try to waste just that little bit extra time as the attackers will be trying to drone out the exact positions because when you're over an admin, there's all these cubicles and all these cubbies you can hide in and really just pop in and out. But
Yeah,
speaking
think Aiden was, as far as I know, I don't want to delve too deep into like strat books, but I think he was supposed to throw a cam outside, but he didn't because they were still setting up and he had to show people walls. So a little bit of unpreparedness out of VT.
Yeah, and if you're watching at home, if he ever refers to Aiden, that is Parcel.vt, who is currently playing the Valkyrie. But speaking of that, Q-Pumps will be going ahead and just trying to catch out if there is a player playing top yellow, as the rest of his team does burn the ADSs. Parcel is just going to go ahead and rotate down into Visa area right beneath admin, possibly going for a nitro cell, using that good vertical placement. But speaking of vertical placement, it does seem as Zofia is on this upside down repel, creating a really good line of sight as Manning for Ice Age does go ahead and take out Bookshelf from the bathroom window.
Yeah, and as you saw, they tried to nade off, the mute from yellow as he gets a frag. They burned one of the ADSs, didn't burn the other, and didn't kill him with the frag, and he was able to actually capitalize and get a kill from that, so that's pretty huge.
And also, speaking of huge, it does seem as if the roaming 6 Jaeger does go ahead and take out JS, and that is the buck going off the board. That is a lot less. Now, there's not going to be any more vertical placement from that Buckmaster key, as well as those grenades that could cause a lot of damage late round. So now Maryland will go ahead and just be droning out, as it does seem like they will have to switch around their attack a little bit. And right there, Florian does go ahead and take out Noob Smasher on the window and drop the diffuser down onto the ground.
Yeah, that was a bit of an ambitious peak, just kinda swing the window. Not sure what he was doing there, but that frag was also huge, so now we gotta see them regroup. Not sure, they might do, like, a bathroom take or go up yellow. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but they don't have that much time to actually get onto site and plant.
Whew, what a
Oh,
shot
wow.
out from 6 as he takes out the Nomad and puts the diffuser down once again. And all there's left is Manny from Ice Age, and he is sitting in bathroom. There's a whole lot of people he has to take out, and not a whole lot of time as he will go ahead and take out one as Florian falls. The next two might line up.
Oh.
However, the refrags do fall in the favor of Virginia Techs as Kirimer will just pop a quick headshot and end the round. Is that a
Yeah, that
TK
lineup
or was.
was it looked like a TK, I don't think it was. I think the Zoff got the kill, if I remember correctly. But that lineup was almost bad. But
Yeah,
I
definitely
think
almost throwing.
that round, they didn't get the guy off yellow, or they didn't kill the yellow guy. They ended up getting 2 frags. And that was I think that combined with the fact that 6 got a roam kill and he got a second kill on the guy going up yellow, that just kind of solidified it. So the roam clear wasn't that heavy, and they couldn't kill the yellow guy, so they kind of just like stagnated their attack.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of map control coming in as they were just attempting to play those windows, not as opposed to going on an admin side. What I would have liked to see is some sort of connector presence on the window. There was just too many
Hmm.
safe locations for these Virginia Tech anchors to sit, as sort of Felorian just was flying all around site and taking whatever gunfights he felt necessary. But what's really interesting is we are going to see the split floor bomb site coming out real early. Most teams would elect to go straight down to basement, but here Virginia Tech is going to go ahead and pick their more tertiary bomb site to go nice, maybe catch these Maryland attackers off balance.
Yeah, this is an interesting pick. Usually you see a Legion for split attacks or split defenses, so that you can goo mine up all of downstairs. You don't have to commit that many people down there, but we can see what they're going to end up doing. They have a castle, so I'm interested to see where he's castling. I assume it's going to be first floor, like around main. And he has a shotgun, which is pretty big, so they have 2 shotguns. They can do a lot of sculpting of the site.
And speaking
Oh,
of that shotgun, Bookshelf does unfortunately go ahead and take down Parcel, and that's a little bit of blue on blue fire that we don't like to see. However, it does seem as if Parcel did go ahead and get all of his cameras out most likely, so his utility isn't fully down, but that's definitely not something you want to see coming out from the Virginia defenders.
yeah, that was I'm not sure what happened there. I assume he was shotgunning while one was going through the rotate hole, but it's just unnecessary. And we have Maryland doing a fast basement take. I'm not sure if ET is going to be ready for this, but they're putting almost all their people downstairs. So they're going to be taking downstairs site very quickly, so we can see if VT can actually defend this.
And Bookshelf is playing a really nice angle looking down into that cafeteria stairwell. But Manny from Ice Age is wrapping all the way upstairs and separating out from his team, as everybody else does seem to be stacked up. He's going to go ahead and watch the flank, break open some barricades, as the rest of his team is taking some drone intel and will be trying to push out Kirimer, who's playing on site as Echo.
I'm interested if this attack that UMD is doing, if this is their standard split attack, or if they saw something in the defense that made them decide to, let's just throw 5 people in a garage quick. But it's definitely, they have a lot of map control. I'm just wondering if they're going to take advantage of it. And we have Manny with a frag, so now it's a 5 versus 3 on the Maryland side, and they still have a lot of map control, but haven't committed yet.
Yeah, and now we're going to see this Buckmaster Key going ahead and opening up a path straight onto site as Kiermer will fall to this entering Buck. And now in a 5v2 situation, Six and Felurian have a lot to do, but Manny will go ahead and take out Felurian and leave it into a 1v5 situation. Six goes ahead and refrags onto the Zofia, and his clutch will begin as the diffuser goes down. It's 40 seconds left and not a whole lot of time to do all the work he needs to do. He's going to go ahead and drop inside of electrical room, possibly get behind somebody. However, his footsteps were heard and Q-Palms takes him out to even up the score at 1-1.
At the last second, I think someone called it. He didn't seem to be well aware. But yeah, I mean, start with the TK. Obviously, you don't want to see that, but I wasn't convinced that they could hold downstairs. I mean, the attackers just kind of walked in the garage, got all their map control, and then just kind of took site after they got another pick. So we'll see if they go there again. And it looks like they are going there again. So I'm wondering what they're going to try to do differently to stop the Maryland from just taking site and planning and having almost a perfect round.
Yeah, at this point, it is seeming as if Manny from Ice Age is the one to watch on the UMD side, as he already has 5 kills going into the second round. He's looking like an absolutely lethal Zofia player, and definitely gonna have to keep our eyes on him as this match continues forward.
We're getting a 6 right now to Legion, yeah. Yeah, so their change is they're going to Legion instead of a Valk, which I think is a good change because the reason you play the Legion is exactly what Maryland did. Maryland just walked in the garage for free, got all the way up, and there wasn't any intel on where they were. So Legioning up all of down the stairs will definitely allow you to have knowledge when the attackers progress that much. So we'll see if that actually is what changes the tides, apart from the fact that hopefully there won't be a TK this round.
Yeah, it does seem as if Virginia Tech will be returning to this bomb site. Maybe they aren't the biggest fans of the default basement site with the garage and cafeteria. That is where most people do like to play. So the weird thing about this split site is one of the few sites in the game where the bomb sites are separated onto different floors. Hence why it's called split, as if both of these bomb sites are split between the first and second floor. So that means you have to hold a lot more map control. But some teams may like that if they are able to sort of do a lot of vertical control easily. Then maybe it fits into their playstyle a lot better.
Yeah, so we're seeing a different take. So it might be that last round they saw that they didn't have like a Legion or something. But Buck with a quick kill is pretty big. Because a big thing about Split... Oh, they're already planning almost. But a big thing about Split is that you need to have all the defenders alive because you need to have a lot of map control. So it's a 3v3 right now. So they actually brought it back, and we'll see if they can actually hold on to this as the diffuser's down in sight.
Yeah, so it was an initial rush strat coming in from University of Maryland, and they did take a lot of initial map control off of that first pick. But we are seeing Felurian and Nomad just being really close next to each other inside of admin, as now the drone work does pop out his position, but he will go ahead and just try to escape here, but not quick enough, as Huggy does get the frag, as the Zofia, which is Manny from Ice Age, does go ahead and pick up the diffuser in sight and is trying here, but the pings from the Yokai drone will let Six go ahead and take him out and drop the diffuser onto the ground once more. The Super Shorty is going to go ahead and open up the hatch and give him a quick rotation out into basement if he so desires. So it is a 2v2 instance here. Six is a gunner, and Kirimer is out here playing support and trying to use these Yokai drones to relay the information that his teammates need.
Yeah, so it looks like the IQ didn't sweep for echoes at the when his teammate was planning, which is what stopped plant. So that's kind of not good, but it's sweeping it now, so they should be okay. And they're doing split twice. My guess is that they want to catch them off guard because this is unconventional. But so far, it doesn't seem like they've had that much success with catching them off guard as we have the bomb down.
Yeah, and so now it is a 1v2 situation, and Kirimer has already lost half of his health from this initial engagement. He's got a good mountain to climb. However, we have seen some weirder things happen. These attackers are holding a really nice crossfire, and the time is slowly dwindling away. Kirimer does seem as if he's going to do a full rotate here, but his big 3 armor footsteps will be heard by Huggy and will put it back into the favor of University of Maryland.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by their split defense. We've seen it 2 different rounds. They tried to make an adjustment with Legion. First round, they lost to a fast basement take. This time, they lost to a fast first take. They do it again, fast second take maybe, but it doesn't seem like that. I don't know what type of takes they're good against if they're not good against a basement or a first take. So they're gonna go back
Yeah.
upstairs. We'll see if they have success there.
As hopefully they will be able to replicate what they did on the first round of this map, where they were able to deal with this Maryland attack quite handily on the back of, I know Florian got a couple picks with that SMG-11, as well as 6 sort of on a real deep roam and was able to masterfully navigate himself behind unsuspecting attackers. We're seeing a really similar lineup coming in, as Gamer will be sticking onto that very strong Echo pick with Parcel on the Valk, 6 on the Jaeger, Bookshelf on the Mozzie, and Florian using the Mute.
Yeah, so it looks like they're doing the same sort of yellow setup with double ADS. And Maryland knows that they do this, so they might change their attack based on this knowledge. But last time we had Valorian getting a bunch of kills just running around site, so maybe they might put someone on sandwich, might put some pressure elsewhere. I don't think they'll succeed very much if they try to do the same sort of take as they did before, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see some adjustments, maybe sending a player or two over towards admin, really trying to corral in the defenders, cut off some of their rotations, maybe just go on a roam clear to try to find Six's location, as he did seem to just run absolutely rampant. Here we are seeing some initial repelling coming out and busting open a whole lot of cross angles onto yellow. They're probably going to try to frag out this Mute as quickly as possible, as he definitely did put a hamper in their attack last round.
Yeah, they might add some room clear in, but I am with you. They should pressure admin to some degree. The admin player on the defender side is just kind of sitting around for free. They haven't tried to take that map, but they seem to be trying to kill the Mute again. I don't know how successful they'll be, but
Yeah, it does seem as if they are bringing the correct lineup here, as the Zofia and Nomad do bring a lot of utility that can help burn those pesky ADSs, as the Buck is trying to line up a good nade, and just the simple presence of those flash grenades with this attack did force the Mute all the way back to sort of like the baguette desk area, as also this Nomad is just trying to pull and cut any rotations if possible, as Manny from Ice Age does use one of those extra lifeline shots to confirm the location of that Mute. Is now a frag grenade coming in from the Buck will not land, unfortunately, as Florian still is on full health.
yeah. The good news is they got someone on yellow, but I don't know if he'll. Oh, he won that fight. Wow. I wasn't sure he'd actually be able to win that fight, but that was pretty big. So now they have yellow presence. But again, 6 with the roam. Free kills for him. No trades, no roam clears. And they have a Nomad, and they aren't stopping him. So he's still, fragging out.
Yeah, and that initial gunfight won by JS on the Buck is definitely one of those difficult ones to go forward on. You definitely never want to take an SMG-11 head on at close range if you have to. However, he definitely was feeling confident and was very strong in his aim. He's going ahead and using his master key to open up a rotation into bathroom, really sort of giving his team access into sight. However, Parcel is playing downstairs in piano, which is right beneath the site, waiting for pings on the planter, and will use the nitro cell to take it out, but
Wow.
unfortunately will be refragged out as Huggy is playing bottom yellow. But now the diffuser's on the ground with 20 seconds left. The yokai drones are still up, and the rest of these UMD attackers have to push in. However, as a flurry of trades go out, it does seem as if UMD is going to be at the advantage in 2-1. Bookshelf is rotating downstairs, still with a nitro in his pocket, waiting for some more pings, possibly to stop a late plant if he can. Waiting for these yokais to know. He's going to wait for a ping, possibly. Will see it, and will toss this nitro up and take down the diffuser, but it will be too late,
Not in time.
unfortunately. Wow, that's very unfortunate from the defenders. However, JS will now just be able to sit outside, and Bookshelf will have to push in as time dwindles away.
Oh, that was close. If he denied that defuse, he would have won that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, he's peeking him now. Got nomaded. Yeah, that nomad's huge there. That nomad won them the round. So Maryland again. Post plant wins it again. Wow, that was close though.
Yeah, it definitely was a close round and came down to a matter of milliseconds as that nitro was just a little bit too late from bookshelf beneath. Maybe a ping could have been a bit earlier. His time was ticking all the way down. However, it was just not enough in that instance. I will have to say, these University of Maryland attackers definitely do seem to know what they're doing on this map,
Mhm.
despite it being Virginia Tech's map pick. But Huggy, JS, and Manny from Ice Age are coming out absolutely crazy with 5 and 6 kills respectively, really leading their team on their attacking rounds.
Yeah, this round, just like their split rounds, it doesn't seem like they're holding on to site very well. The attackers kind of took site for free, and the only frags they got were they got 2 C4 kills. Out of like half of their kills were just C4 kills from the person planning. So I'm not convinced that their anchors are holding well or that they could stop just straight up pushes because it seems like they're just losing gunfights. And I don't think it's even a roam clear problem. I think it's just a holding sites problem. So we'll see if they change anything. Even though the only change that we have a pulse now, the Aiden pulse that I talked about is now happening. So we get to see that.
Yeah, and so that creates where he was playing last round was piano right beneath sight. And the great thing about that area is he can go ahead and use that pulse scanner to look at the wall and see any repels over towards the CEO area. He can really relay a whole lot of information on these attackers before they even enter the building and really help his team to maybe switch up their focus here.
Yeah, and the other thing is they have 3 C4 operators. So even if the pulse uses a C4, like the Mozzie can rotate down the piano. And if they hold it, the Mozzie can C4 where the pulse pings. So as long as they hold piano and pulse stays alive, I don't think the attackers can plant in CEO.
Yeah, and that definitely is the most accessible site. Is there's multiple windows you can just go ahead and swing in on, or you can just run straight from yellow into that site here. But now we are seeing a big adjustment that I wanted to see last round, but it does seem as if Maryland is going to be going towards a more traditional admin take. It does seem as if Virginia Tech has just tried to switch all the way over, but Bookshelf will go down really early to JS, and that is one of those nitro cells we were talking off the board. However, Mozzie's utility is sort of one of those you stick it on the ground and it still helps. So the Mozzie Pests will
Mhm.
still be active for the rest of the round. So it's not a gigantic loss of utility besides that nitro cell. But JS is now swinging straight into printer area really aggressively and helping to take a lot of admin map control and really corralling these attackers back in as it looks like Maryland will be going towards a projector attack.
Yeah, that pick was pretty big. I don't actually know where he died from, but just him dying, like they have so much map control. They have all of admin. They can like they have a Hibana, so they can open up Bosco wall. They could do something else like that. But again, we have the pulse below. He might be able to get a kill or two, and that'd be pretty big. And he's
Yeah,
giving them intel, which is huge.
and we'll go ahead and use one nitro to get a
A
double kill
double
onto Maryland
kill!
JS.
Oh
Wow, that's
boy.
a great play as two players fall inside of Printer, and now the rest of the locations of these attackers are known, as Parcel probably did. Go ahead and relay that information here, and the rest of the attackers will be able to go ahead and swing, but Noob Smasher is opening up the wall, cutting lines of sights, and making it very difficult to play inside a projector. However, I believe that was Parcel was going to go ahead and take some shots from bathroom area to try to stop those X-Kairos pellets from going off, but it wasn't quite
Mhm.
enough here as they will be peeking out towards Projector, and Kiermer is in quite a predicament situation.
Yeah, but at least he has Florian covering his door to some extent. I think, and we talked about it, the pulse being huge, but I think just the fact that the attackers aren't doing roam clear that much, they're being definitely punished by that, and I think it shows here. Like the defenders have all of first floor basically in basement to play with. They're not clearing those floors. And
Yeah,
being able to
and
play below as a C4 is huge. And a triple kill from Aiden.
yeah, Parcel will go ahead and get out his triple kill, but Florian will end the round as a refrag onto Q Palms is the last attacker remaining. That Nomad charge did seem to slow him down a bit, but not enough as he went ahead and peeked out with that SMG-11. And now it is 3-2, and we will be going to the last defending round that VTech will have on this map.
They're not doing split. They've given up on it. So they're going all the way down the basement.
which
And
definitely will be interesting.
I wonder if Maryland actually will catch them on that. They're bringing the thermite, which they didn't for split. So I assume they know they're going to go basement. But we see showing the pulse. That's pretty big.
Yeah, and so that is showing that it will be most likely that basement all the way downstairs. Attack as Bookshelf will be six picking onto the K to deny any sort of vertical breaching on those very dangerous hatches that we do see sometimes. I think the main thing about the Maryland lineup is how consistent it is. We've seen Huggy on the Nomad almost every round with Q
Mhm.
Palms on IQ, Manny on Zofia, JS on Buck, and Noob Smasher on some sort of hard breach. And that's the consistency that they found on this map that's allowing them to really do very similar roles and really create like a good flow among their attack. And they're sort of getting a good amount of momentum as each operator is knowing exactly what to do and they're doing their jobs quite well.
Yeah, they bring a very consistent lineup, which is it's pretty solid because if you have the similar lineup for every site, it doesn't really matter what site they're at, you can still attack it pretty effectively. But we have kind of an interesting setup from VT. They have all of bathrooms reinforced, so they might have somebody playing in there above the hatch. So that might be interesting.
Yeah, and you definitely are going to have the Cade down beneath. Going ahead and electrifying that. So they really don't want to relinquish that hatch, as if they're going to protect it with a person and an Electroclaw. It most likely means that it's a pretty big linchpin in their defense. But it does seem
Mhm.
as if Maryland's going to go for a full roam clear as they are droning out admin. Most likely going to do some top-down processing of the map consulate. Speaking of processing, the information is being processed by Parcel as he's using his heartbeat scanner to go ahead and relay some information out to the rest of his team that people are coming on this east side and going all the way upstairs.
Yeah, so the room clearing second, they're going down, which is nice. The problem is the pulse might be able to get an easy frag here. Just depends on what he's following them. If they stop the drone, I can see him getting one or two kills here.
Yeah,
But
it definitely
just the
depends
information is
on.
pretty big.
Yeah, but it does seem as if both of these players are just playing a little bit more aggressive and face peeking as opposed to droning, which in this instance does seem to be the safer alternative. So you have a pulse
Mhm.
below just waiting, and he's really chomping at the bit, waiting for anybody to come down. But he's holding a really nice angle as Manny from SH is coming down spiral. He does not seem to know the location. He shoots a little bit early,
That's a
but
big
Manny from Ice
kill.
Age will fall as Parcel claims his first victim for the round. Now Q-Pumps is trying to find the precise location of Pulse, but he's backed off and going to play a little bit more passive as the time is a minute and 20 and there still are roamers on the board. And that might spell a little bit of disaster for Maryland as they push forward.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure. Oh wow, another kill by a roamer there. So roamers are doing a huge amount of work, and that's they haven't even tried to open up walls yet. They haven't even uh, gotten upstairs. I think they just figured out they have a bathroom set up, so their first floor presence is pretty low now. So we'll see what they'll do, but these roamers are getting big frags, and it's wasting a bunch of time. They've less than a minute now, so we'll see. They try to do like a last minute rush to site and plant.
Which is most likely what they're going to have to do, but it is a 5v3. However, we have seen some good things coming out from Maryland as they can get aggressive and they do win gunfights. You do have a Nomad going ahead and entering in with the drone intel. However, the mute jammers have stopped it, and Florian will
Mhm.
stop Huggy with that big M59 shotgun sitting inside a bathroom. So now it's left all up to Noob Smasher and Q Palms. Q Palms is going to go ahead and be in piano, but now there's only 15
15
seconds left on the board,
seconds.
and he's going to start just going in. And it does seem as if these attackers are a little bit rushed, as they are going to line up for Bookshelf to go and take some shots out with a
Oh,
TCSG. But Parcel's going to go ahead and swing out and get himself a triple kill for the round with that beautiful UMP. And it will tie up the half. Oh, wow, a hip fire for the first kill. Interesting.
nice. Yeah, I
Yep,
mean, that's textbook roaming basically, right? Waste the entire round. They never opened the wall. They had to take piano to open the wall with their IQ to shoot the Cade. They never got convincing first floor. They swept second. They died to two roamers on first. They never got to get full map control and actually open the wall or actually enter site. So they had to do a last effort run to yellow. So that's just textbook roaming. That's how they won the round.
Yeah, and I do have to say that a 3-3 half is definitely good for either side. It is sort of Consulate is one of those weird maps that as you see at very high epsilon play, like you see your pro league, it definitely leans more towards the attacker side. But as you move sort of down, like if you think of it from like a rank sense or maybe like some competitive, it is a bit more even as you go.
Mhm.
Most teams are a lot better at defending than attacking, and that's just the way it goes. But seeing a 3-3 attack is sort of expected, so we really have to see exactly how Virginia Tech's going to attack or exactly how Maryland is going to set up their defenses to see who's going to take this map.
Yeah, I think it comes to how well the attackers get map control, clear roamers, take site, etc. I think that's gonna determine it because I think Maryland will probably have solid defenses, so it might be the tiebreaker to see how well Virginia Tech attack.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, we will see a Valkyrie and Mozzie combination, just like we saw on the Virginia side, as well as with a Jaeger. And instead of a mute, they're bringing a smoke. However, I think the biggest piece on this defense is Manny from Ice Age sitting on that dock. I have had the
Hmm.
pleasure of playing against him on that dock, and it's not a very fun experience, as he definitely is quite accurate with that ACOG, and he could bring a lot of damage to this Virginia attack if they do get caught slipping.
One thing to notice though is that they do not have an echo. So in terms of plant denial, they're running on the minimum side. They have a smoke, which is something, but in terms of, echo sit in the corner on my drones, they don't have that sense of hard anchor. So that might be something to see if Virginia Tech ends up taking site early.
Yeah, and right here we are also seeing the gridlock being brought by Felorian, which is something we did not see Maryland take advantage of here, as there will be some track stingers going on the staircases trying to cut any roam, but as the rest of the attackers are just flying straight into admin, it's only been 50 seconds and there's a whole lot of map control for Virginia Tech as they're pushing in onto this third floor bomb site.
Yeah, I think this might put a stress on Smoke if they start taking site pretty early. He's going to have to deplete a lot of his grenades, and there's still a lot of time left. So I think it'll be interesting to see if VT off of this quick map control try to take site quickly or just try to clear out roamers, open some walls, and systematically take site in a slower pace.
Yeah,
That's
but
a big kill.
six will get the initial pick on the Ash straight onto the dock that seemed so dangerous for Manny from Ice Age. But speaking of that, the breaching will go in onto projector wall from the Habana. Those X-Kairos pellets are going to create some really good lines of sight, but some of them are going to get shot. Unfortunately, Six is getting a little bit aggressive in trying to rotate and just burn out that ADS on projector, as it does seem as just the Valkyrie is left inside of sight. The smoke is not far behind, sitting behind a soft wall inside a connector, as the Jaeger is holding a really long line of sight if anybody does seem to want to enter in that door. But speaking of that, Huggy will go down, and the rest of this does seem as if it's about to start exploding quite soon.
Yeah, so again, you can see the smoke using it. They use the C4 already. Their resources to prevent plant are running pretty thin, and that's because of the fast map control. Got to pick on the dock. The attackers have the initiative right now, and with the Jaeger bleeding out, the defenders have to make something happen, or they're just gonna fall apart by a systematic site take.
Yeah, and that side take does seem as if it's going to come out soon as the gridlock goes ahead and throws those track stingers. Going to use those spiky boys to cut rotations as well as, wow, is that a pre-placed nitrates from JS? Looking real strong here, taking out the initial entry fragger of 6, but Kiermer and Bookshelf will get a frag apiece as Noob Smasher will respond back. However, he's going to go and use his shotgun to come out and take down the diffuser. And now it's in a
That's
1v2
huge.
situation as both of these Maryland defenders are looking really strong, and the shotgun will
Wow.
meet Bookshelf, and it's a clutched round from Maryland. They took this round from the absolute depths of defeat, and both of these anchors getting those picks really late, looking really strong. I think it was JS, or was it JS on, or it was Noob Smasher on the smoke right there. I think he got 3
Yeah.
kills. As
Yeah,
JS
he
also got a
definitely
nitro.
showed up. I feel like, yeah, I mean, for me, somebody's planning, nobody's covering him. I'm not really sure what's happening there. Uh, but that changes the round, right? He gets that kill. Bomb's not going down. Defenders are scattered. Mozzie gets a kill as well, and it's the round's basically over. If they get that plant down, it 1v2 post plant, that might be definitely more interesting. But the plant denial from the smoke, not using his smoke grenades to deny plant, but actually using his shotgun to get those frags was actually really huge. Like he won them the round.
Yeah, that was some great play, as he did just get a little bit aggressive with the shotgun and went up to those up close engagements and loaded some attackers full of buckshot. But now we are seeing Maryland go all the way downstairs. This is going to be quite different from what we saw from Virginia Tech, as we will see a Goyo coming out. Which is the first time we're seeing this today. Goyo is actually an insanely strong operator, but we've seen integrated into a lot of meta at this higher invite level. You know, there's definitely players like Bahoja on GMU who might be a little bit well known for his TCSG play. He's been using a lot of Goyo, and a lot of other teams are following suit, as those Vulcan shields can definitely be insanely strong pieces of utility.
Yeah, Goyle is one of those ops that I feel like they should take away one of his shields. He's a little good. Um, you don't see him that much. I think just because he's new, but I think he's definitely very strong. And I always like to see Goyo's strats. I think that he should be used almost all the time. And we're gonna be seeing mapping the wall to make it soft, and then destroying it probably with the buck. So as a contrast to what Maryland was doing, BT's making an effort to get this wall open fast, right? And they're roam clearing as well, so they're not going to end up stuck and having to go down yellow if everything goes poorly.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Maverick, is his ability to just open up a wall almost by himself. And now as you get frag grenades on his kit, as soon as he makes this wall soft with the Maverick trick, he could just toss a grenade on it to get a little bit of a path in there. He's definitely one of the strongest hard breachers from a solo play kind of way, as the first armor pellet will go ahead and go down, and then the Sophia will just use that lifeline to break it open. But JS will break open the action on this round, as the Roni will claim its first victim onto Kirimer, and that's the flank watch off the board, which could spell some disaster for Virginia Tech, as there are a good amount of roamers still alive for Maryland.
Yeah, they have a buddy system going for piano, so the buck should be pretty safe, but they have to worry out for the roamers. Roamers getting frags is always pretty harrowing for attackers because that's one less person to watch for flanks, right? So you kind of lose a lot of security in your positions. And as you can see now, this might get another frag from this Mozzie. Oh, that's a big C4.
Ooh,
Downs,
unfortunately
but
does
doesn't
not
kill
connect.
him.
Oh, it does go
Oh.
down. I don't
does
think he
frag
knows
the
he
defender,
downed. I don't think he
I don't
knows
think
he's
it
downed.
either.
But he does know that Bookshelf is pushing him, as JS is going absolutely crazy for this round. He goes ahead and gets a
that an
full
ace?
ace. Wow, that's an insane round. That Mozzie went absolutely crazy on this, as everybody just kept on seeming to peek him, and he had the confidence just to go forward. As we are seeing one of the few aces that we see in high-level invite play, and that most likely will be hitting that top 10 round, or top 10 plays that I know is coming out quite soon as the season does die down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he got a C4 kill and he got 4 1v1s, and he fragged out. I mean, that was a pretty good ace. I don't know why everyone's peeking him one at a time. That seems to be some sort of miscommunication there. But yeah, again, it's that first frag. Suddenly you don't have as many people roam clearing. And then suddenly your roamer, your Mozzie, has a bunch of space to work with. And he used that space to his advantage, found a hole in the defense, got a kill on the buck, and then just fragged out from there. So that was huge. And now they're going to be going to lobby instead of split. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, lobby is one of those sites that you definitely have to hold your third floor control as long as possible. You're gonna have to play at least 2 or 3 people up there. Really keep control of projector, because that is directly above the site. You have a hatch that drops directly in, as well as those windows over towards piano that you can just swing straight into site. It's definitely not one of the better sites here, and it is a little bit more difficult to hold, which is why it will be the third site for Maryland, as they're just sort of buying around until they can go back upstairs to projector. But we are going to have to see exactly how they line up, as I am going to predict there's going to be a whole lot of vertical placement, as JS is already setting up projector to be his home.
Yeah, and the Mozzie functions as a mute here in a sense, as well as an op that can make all these holes and run around and have a good primary and have a nitro. He has all these things. But I assume they're gonna have a Doc fragging out and projector and a Mozzie like roaming close. Might have person roaming near admin or like Visa. But yeah, this site is one of those strong upstairs holds. So we'll see how VT butts up against the upstairs defense of Maryland.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of intel on the side of University of Maryland as they are opting to bring the Valk and the Echo here. There's a whole lot of cams on the board as we are seeing Bookshelf push into admin really quickly, and he's all the way up Visa stairs as Six is right on his tail. He's using his patented Ash as the rest of the drones are coming in and trying to pinpoint out the exact location of these upstairs roamers, as it does seem Manny from Ice Age is going to go ahead and take some initial shots towards long desk, as that is likely where there's going to be some engagement as the rest of these attackers push up, trying to take this projector control. However, these long angles with the ACOG is going to be quite dangerous as the Valkyrie is feeding in information to him. And speaking of that, there's some more shots will go out, but unfortunately for Manny, Valerian will not take any damage from that as the shots did seem to just fly right over the shoulder.
Yeah, I think what happens upstairs is Doc and Valk versus the other team, and there's the Doc dies there. I think this is going to determine the round because once the attackers get upstairs, and they're upstairs with man advantage,
JS just
he got a knife kill.
He just knifed him.
From?
He just came up the back stairs. He was trying to get really sneaky to get the free knife kill and then probably go for a quick kill onto the other player, as he is using the Roni, so that is only 20 bullets. But Huggy will go and take out Bookshelf, and that's some soft breach off the table. However, Six is still alive with, I believe, one more reaching round that could go here. But Parcel will take out Q Palms and leave this in a 3v2 instance. Now, the control of the map is looking quite strong for Virginia Tech, but they are going to have to start moving quickly as the Echo is still on the board, and he's one of those operators that gets increasingly more deadly as the time dwindles away.
Yeah, this is going to be close. That's a huge kill by Aiden. But this Echo, they shouldn't be able to do anything because they have an IQ. And he wasn't even able to stop the diffuser. So this is going to be a 1v3. Very difficult. But I think, getting upstairs was pretty big. I'm not sure the buck kind of died for free, but just Aiden fragged out. He got a triple kill, opened up sight, and then they got that plant down. So we got a noob with 1 kill. He's now in a 1v2. Let's see if he clears hard left.
It does seem as if he lacks the critical information. And Parcel will fall out for a 4K and try to salvage a little bit here and get a little bit more momentum as the rest of his team pushes forward on these attacks. This is the first attack win on this half for Virginia Tech, and they definitely are saying that they will not go quietly, as now the score is 4-5, and they're right back in this game. However, University of Maryland will be going back to the second floor console meeting site that they won pretty handily the first time around.
Yeah, so they want to attack. That's good. Get a breather. Like, they're still, they can win these rounds. It's a good round to get, but they beat them playing lobby, right? If they want to win this game, they're gonna have to win attacks on second floor and basement, and they lost both of those attacks pretty decisively. So I think, yes, they got the win, but they still have to prove that they can, in fact, go head to head at one of the better sites.
Yeah, and so this round is going to be quite important because if University of Maryland is able to win this, they pass the threshold of what I like to say, that 6-round threshold, where you go ahead and you ice out at least a tie, because here at CEA during the regular season, we have no overtime rules here. So teams are able to get ties on maps and lead to partial wins and partial losses for the series, as it is only a best of 2. But speaking of that, next week will be marking the start of playoffs, and that's where we're going to get to see a little bit more action. There's going to be overtimes, there's going to be best of 3s, and it's always a great spectacle to watch. So if you're interested in seeing that, go ahead and leave a follow on the stream, maybe follow us over on Twitter, or just join the Discord and be ready to see those announcements, as we do go live we try to go live around every day, as there are a whole lot of games going on and we want to bring good content to you guys as our fans.
Yeah, playoffs would definitely bring good content. And speaking of good content, they brought a Goyle on second, and I am interested. We have, looks like a small desk setup. Looks like a setup towards a setup down a long hall towards long desk, and then a setup towards the CO windows, and then a setup in projector towards the Visa stairs. So VT only has Ash really that can destroy Goyo shields. They also have nades from Buck, but that's not really what you want to be doing, but they can. So we'll see if they'll be able to aptly deal with these shields.
Do X Cairo pellets stick to shields? I think they do,
I
right?
don't.
If you really,
Do they
if
destroy
you,
them?
yeah, I think
If they
if
stick
they
to them?
stick to them, then they will. But
Oh,
I don't know if they bounce off or not. I guess that's, but that it would be another use of kind of valuable utility. But the rest of these attackers are just getting really aggressive, and they use their drone work and are just pushing all the way into admin quite quickly. There's not a whole lot of pushback from these University of Maryland attackers to stop this sort of map control. But it almost seems as if this is their plan. They're sort of trapping them. They're creating their lines of sights, but the ADS is burned out, and Bookshelf's trying to get a frag. However, it will not land.
yeah, that frag didn't go deep enough, I don't think, and they also might have moved. But yeah, fast map control. This is huge, right? They have a minute and a half. They have all of admin. They're going to start their site take. This was pretty big. Last time they got here and they weren't able to convert to the man advantage, but we can see if they do it this time. But again, we don't have a dock wide peeking, so this might be a different take. And they get long deaths, which is big.
Here, as Bookshelf does get the opening pick, but it will be answered quite quickly back, as JS on that TCSG does do a whole lot of damage onto Florian. Speaking of that, Q-Pumps will go ahead and take out Bookshelf, as JS also falls onto Kiermer, but Six will answer with 2 kills of his own, as Partial gets another one. Now, after that flurry, it is 2 hackers left to just Q-Palms left on the defense, as a 2v1 and the diffuser's going down, trying to set up some sort of retake situation, but he's getting quite aggressive here, but the drone will spot him out, and now his location is known to be near long desk. Here there's some flashes coming out as one player does cross in connector, but there's no ammo left in the MPX here. So we're going to go to the Deagle, but it's not quite enough as the accuracy wasn't there, and Parcel will finish out this round and tie up the game for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that was close. Valk didn't have a C4, which was kind of big. They seem to use their C4s a little preemptively, yet you saw the Goyle use it as well. So I don't know if that necessarily had a bearing on the round, but it made planning a heck of a lot easier. And
Yeah,
I mean, that looks convincing.
Scary.
Yeah, they didn't all die to the smoke, so that's pretty big. And they took fast map control and they took sight pretty well. And getting long desk and just being able to have the entirety of site and wrap and maybe even take like connector is, I think it's pretty big. And I think that their site take was pretty convincing. So we get to see them do it again. And let's see if VT can convert one more time.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely seeing Kiermer go into that Nomad because of just how much damage JS was able to do beneath with that TCSG. He had some nice angles opened up and was able to just sort of snake in behind using Lobby and Visa to get up behind these attackers who stagnated in that office area around admin. So they're definitely going to bring the Nomad this time. Maybe try to stop his rotation, give a little bit of a noise cue, knock one of those roamers on their butt, and so they'll know exactly where they're coming from this time.
Yeah, I think Nomad instead of Gridlock is interesting. I think the Nomad will be better if they actually, like, let's say they clear Visa and then they Nomad it off. Sure, if they're just doing the same admin tick like they did before, I feel like Gridlock serves them better. Being able to, Gridlock off stairs is pretty huge. Being able to Gridlock off, like, connector or something. But I guess we'll see if they change their roam clear at all, because they could use this Nomad pretty well to clear off all of Visa, or like even downstairs so they don't get to see forward when they're trying to plant.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the admin windows will go ahead and be opened up quite quickly, as the intentions of these Virginia Tech attackers are to just fly straight in there and get as much map control as possible. Following 6, Solo clearing out admin as the Ash entry fragger. He's not going to be met with any pushback, just like all these other rounds. I'm getting a little bit of deja vu. However, there is a Mozzie all the way down in basement. His location most likely is not known. So he's going to go ahead and walk straight to Visa stairs and maybe get behind 6 if he's caught slacking.
Yeah, so they cleared Visa, which makes sense with their Nomad. I'm wondering if they're going to try to Nomad off certain parts of Visa to kind of like stop rotates. As Manny gets a kill, which is pretty big, because they've been just running into admin for free. But this time, they're seeing some resistance. So we'll see if he can get traded or if he gets multiple frags.
Yeah, and that's a huge pick as Parcel was playing the IQ, and there is an Echo on the board for the defenders. Now, without that IQ scanner to remove those pesky little yokai drones, planting does get a heck of a lot more difficult if Noob Smasher is able to live to the end of the round. Here, we're going to see another peek and get aggression from Manny from ICH. However, it will not pan out to a kill because of a little bit of timing here. But speaking of
Oh,
timing, here, Kiermer will be pushed up, and the Jaeger will just go straight into him. And now they're going to use the body to hide an air jab, which is quite interesting.
yeah, that's pretty nerdy play. I like it. And
Yeah.
like again, they got this isn't as fast admin control, but they're in a 44. They got a minute left. My assumption is going to go for like opening the wall, maybe. They have to open with Maverick, so I'm not sure if they were actually expecting them to go upstairs. Mav just kind of walks in and dies. Not sure what that was.
More shotgun play from Q Palms as he's going to go and get a double kill. And now it's left to, after the smoke has settled, 3 attackers, or 3 defenders plus the 1 downed against Valorian, and 6 of here. The diffuser is outside on projector window, but Mozzie most likely will be getting picked up quite soon. 6 will get actually finish off that downed player as the yokai drones are going to go ahead and start droning out into sight. They hear the air jabs here, trying to cut out some locations, but 6 will be beneath, going and using a nice Ash angle and downing
Nice.
Q Palms and finishing him off.
Yeah, so I got 2v2. Not a lot of time. This Echo might just decide it, but I think they're going to have to go for the kill if they want to really win this round. Going for the plan. I don't love it. And, I mean, the Buck's on cam. They got a frag, though. That's huge. So he's going to go for a plan again, while his teammate probably goes for the kill. And he's planning. The Echo is not pushing connector. Now he is. He's going to clear, and... Oh, double air jab? And the Echo wins it. That's crazy.
That's some great play from Noob Smasher as he was able to get those shots to down the Buck right before that air jab rendered him to be useless. That was some great play as he was able to take out that Ash that was right next to him right after getting off cams and took a 2v1 back into Maryland's grasp. And that also does swing the favor in them as they have crossed that 6-point threshold. So now we are seeing Maryland is going to have to push forward a win, and VTech will most likely be wanting this tie here. This is the last round on Consulate, as this is the 12th round. It's either going to end in a 7-5 win for Maryland or a 6-6 tie if Virginia Tech is able to get this last round.
Yeah, and it's going to be decided on basement, but that Nomad play was insane. The fact that he got air jab first, and then it caused Trev to get air jab, but I think because he was closer to the air jab, he recovered first. So that's crazy. That's how he wins that clutch. But yeah, we're gonna decide on basement. And VT didn't win the first attack on basement, so we'll see if they change anything to try to win it this time.
Yeah, the main thing we're seeing is the introduction of that Maverick as Bookshelf will be bringing it once again, and that's a little bit of a different ripple that we didn't see the first half as Maryland attacked first. As we said earlier, Bookshelf will just be able to fully solo open up that wall and make it soft for one of his soft breachers, either the Buck or the Ash, to just go ahead and use their utility to blast it open. But we are seeing some more vertical denial as the Jaeger will be reinforcing the hatches that are most crucial towards the site, and most likely he will be going all the way upstairs with JS to be roaming. This definitely was the round that we saw JS go absolutely crazy on as he got a beautiful ace. So maybe we're going to see some more heroics this time as he's going to try to ice out this game for his team.
The Jaeger is keeping 2 ADSs, so I don't know if they have an upstairs setup, but he's not pairing each ADS with the Goyo shield, which is sometimes what you see. So I guess we'll see where he puts the ADSs. Could be like near bathroom or something, but keeping 2 for upstairs it's interesting. I think it's a little aggressive. I think not having like an ADS for like the Echo at pipes or things like that is not ideal, but we'll see. And VT's already in sight. They have a guy down who tried to plant, and yeah, we'll see if they can actually hold on, but it doesn't look like they are. They tried the rush and it didn't work out.
Yeah, and so after the smoke is landed, Q-Palms is going absolutely crazy here, and there's only 2 attackers left. I marked that 0 attackers left for Virginia Tech, and that will be the first half as University of Maryland will take their first map here. And it does seem as if that was a little bit of a crazy admin rush straight up those back stairs that didn't seem to pan out in Virginia Tech's favor. So now we will be taking a 5-minute quick intermission for these players to go to the bathroom, maybe talk out a little bit, as well as give our casters here, me and M16, a little bit of our vocal cords a rest. So after 5 minutes, we will be back onto Cafe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our match. We have Maryland up a game over Virginia Tech. I'm joined by CDEPS. How'd you feel
Hello.
about that game that just happened?
It was a really close one as it was 7-5, which is one of the closest scores you can see besides a tie, but ultimately Maryland was able to just ice out just enough rounds as we did see JS go absolutely crazy. I think he dropped 16. Definitely put the team on his
Mhm.
back a little bit. Might have to go see his chiropractor after this game.
Yeah, I mean, it was very close. I mean, one of the rounds he aced, so I think JS was definitely instrumental in Maryland's victory, and I'm interested if he's gonna continue that hot streak on Cafe, which is our next map.
Yeah, Cafe, if we see him on the Mozzie once again, Cafe is one of those maps that Mozzie can definitely excel at because you can have a good amount of nitro cells from below. A
Mhm.
whole lot of the floors inside of this map are destructible, so that does lend quite well to his shotgun, as well as drone. Droning is so important on this map, and you have a lot of really tight corridors that it makes it impossible to get around those pests if they're placed down correctly.
Yeah, the he functions a lot like a mute on this map, and again, C4, shotgun, he does it all, and he definitely shines in this map. So we're gonna get straight into bans. We have a Thermite ban from Maryland immediately. Trevor seems to be showing some sadness, as that's usually his main attacker. So what do you think we're gonna see on the bans for VT? Jackal
Mm,
maybe?
I think we're going to see
Thatch?
a Thatcher.
Okay,
That is a
I can see
pretty
that as well.
default ban, as most people do understand that Thatcher is one of the best attackers because he does seem to calm. Oh, we're actually going to see a Jackal, so Virginia Tech is going to want to roam a little bit as they go to the defending side.
Yeah, we didn't see much Jackal on Consulate, so maybe they were a little concerned with it messing with the room play. But yeah, we also have a mirror ban. So they banned Maestro last match, so they might go with that again. But well, it's gonna be Maestro Echo, I assume.
Yeah, as we are seeing both of the Spanish operators go down from VTech. However, it is going to be the Echo this time, as it did seem Kirimer was using the Echo quite effectively.
Hmm. My assumption of why they banned the Echoes, they might have some sort of Maestro setup for their defense. And in terms of comfort, this is their map pick. They want to have a good start. Like do like a 4-2, 5-1, 6-0 half. They might just want to maximize their setups, and they might just have like very comfortable with Maestro, and we'll see if they actually have some stick Evil Eye setups as they chose to ban Echo instead.
Yeah, definitely going to be really interesting to see how this goes.
They seem to be starting on Kitchen, which Kitchen's gotten a lot better since the old cafe, which is kind of nice. Um,
Yeah, Kitchen is
but
one of those sites that they completely redid and made it a lot more competitively viable, as now some teams do just like to take it as their first site.
so do you, in your opinion, do you like Kitchen better than third?
I still think third floor is one of the best sites in the entire game on any map. And almost like we
Okay,
have a phrase on our team, if you lose third floor, then you're throwing. So Cafe is
pretty much.
definitely one of those sites. However, I do think that Kitchen is the most important site on this map. If you're able to get your Kitchen
Okay,
defenses down, then you put yourself in a really good position because if you play top floor correctly, that's 2 rounds, and you play Kitchen correctly, you get 2. So that's automatically getting 4 rounds on
yeah.
defense, which is huge. And then let's say when you go to reading room or whichever of the second floor sites you so prefer, you get 1 or 2 of those, then you're really definitely sitting pretty, even though this map does go towards the defender side.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think you look at third as free. First, we need to win, and then any other ones you get just kind of like a cherry on top. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
starting with. Looks like they have a castle set up, but it looks like standard stuff. They actually do have a Thatcher because he wasn't banned, so we get to see some Thatch plays.
Yeah, and bringing that Thatcher is going to make it just that little bit extra ease when you're breaching that kitchen wall. You're not going to have as much pressure to get into train and use your vertical play, even though you are bringing Buck to do that. That can stop the bandit tricking initially, but if you aren't able to get second control, you can still have that extra little bit of like a backup plan with the Therma or the Thatcher and Hibana combination.
Mm-mm.
But it does seem as if Maryland is not roaming really heavy, as they're just going to be sprawled out all across the first floor. In lieu of a vertical hold, they're going to be definitely going towards more of a horizontal one, as the rest of the drones are figuring out this pretty quickly. Bookshelf is pushed all the way in, as the Buck will drop and start using that Master Key shotgun to really take out the roof from above these anchoring defenders.
Yeah, and this again, VT has shown this before, fast map control, and it's pretty big. A minute and a half left, and they have the entirety of third and second floor, and they've started their floor destruction. So I'd like to see where they pivot to from this, right? If they do a sort of bakery take or freezer take, something like that. But they definitely do have first, as they get a kill to the floor, the Buck gets a frag, which is pretty big that he doesn't go down there. And I don't know if the anchors can really feel safe here. They don't have any ceiling anymore.
Yeah, and there's all these lines of sights opened up as these defenders are going to get a little bit more scared. But Noob Smasher will go and try his Nitro Cell out to find an attacker, but it will not land or connect here. The Six will just be using that Master Key to open up even more lines of sight and create even more dangerous corners. But Six will now
Oh my
take out
god.
Gnome God, as the UMP did not lend itself to be good enough to take out that Buck. Here, now the Buck will also be taking out all 4 bandit batteries, leaving a good chance for the Hibana of Kirimer to go over and breach whatever walls he so desires. But Manny from Ice Age will be taking a long-distance gunfight onto Parcel and taking him out as another flurry of
Wow.
go out for Maryland, as JS gets one, and so does Noob Smasher. Over 6 will refrag out onto Manny from Ice Age and secure out his triple kill, as he's going to be thirsting for the ace. JS and Noob Smasher are the only ones left, as it does seem like Buck will be meeting him quite soon. He's going to try to get a nade onto the bandit, but it will not be enough here, as the Mozzie will go down to Florian, and he will also take out Noob Smasher, as both of these attackers were able to clutch out and get a very crucial first round win on Cafe.
Not sure what that banner was doing.
I think it was a
looked the wrong
miscall.
way. Yeah, I think that was definitely miscommunication. But yeah, I mean, Six got 2 huge frags.
Got 3.
Flurry of kills from the defenders. Yeah, he ended up getting a third as well. I agree. But the 3 kills right in a row looked a little scary for VT, but they brought it back, and they won Kitchen, the site that matters. They won it. So
Yes.
they're gonna be thrown back up to third floor now. We'll see when they return to Kitchen eventually. If anything will be changed, but we're going on third. We have the Maestro, and we have a Goyo, another Goyo setup. So this is gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, and this is going to be a site that I can see JS going absolutely crazy if he needs to. Setting up all those Goyo shields are going to give him a lot of cover to bounce in and out of, as well as he is bringing the TCSG. Yes, he is. And that can just be such a dangerous gun, as this top floor site really does lend to long lines of sight that can just be so punishing if you run into one of those slug rounds of the TCSG. However, in conjunction with that, we are seeing Huggy bringing the Jaeger to help protect those Vulcan shields and really make them gigantic sponges of utility, as it does seem VTech might not have enough soft breach on their side, with only the grenades of Buck and Bookshelf's lifeline being able to pop these shields.
Yeah, and I mentioned that last map, talking about how Maestro might be the preferable band because the amount of utility you need for him and Goyo is ridiculous, and we can see it here, right? 2 Maestro cams, 3 shields. They have a Zoff, and then they have like Buck nades. That's about it. They can't get all of those, so. And you don't also don't want to be using your nades there. Usually, you want to be using your Zoffs for the Maestros. So, stretch very thin, and we'll see what they end up doing. But they're taking a roof take, and yeah, let's see how convincing their take is.
Yep, as the hatches will be going ahead and opening and pushing forward towards some possible quick map control for Virginia Tech. Some drones will go out in piano, as Kirimer does do a Tim Tebow level throw right through the window. However, his drone will be taken out. And now it is known that there are 2 players playing quite aggressive up in piano. As Parcel does go towards the windows, he is quite wary of a possible run out, but Kirimer will be sitting there watching his back, as the Goyo is sitting over towards the pixel couch corner, and Jaeger's getting quite aggressive right on this little half wall, right next to Hatch, just ready to catch anybody sleeping on a window.
Yeah, the Shaker is very committed. I'm wondering if Tech's gonna try to take advantage of it. He seems to be pretty in the open, but they haven't opened any walls yet. And with Thermite being banned, it's a lot harder to, open minibar wall and then open freezer. You really don't have the luxury to open multiple walls with Habana. So we'll see this Goyo goes down to this nade.
As the first shield will fall in conjunction with the
Oh,
Goyo
wow.
falling too, as Bookshelf gets another opening pick, and Gnome God also did fall to a Claymore a couple seconds ago. Now piano control is into the hands of these Virginia Tech attackers, and some breaching will start going on. Noob Smasher is going ahead and using his Evil Eye cameras to take some pot shots out here, but Manny from Ice Age will fall to Bookshelf. Another headshot for the Zofia, and only leaving 2 people left on site. Huggy's going aggressive right underneath Skylight as he's meeting 2 attackers peeking over towards him, as Maestro has a couple problems of his own as people are going over towards the Pallets White Stairs area. Some shots will go out from the Jaeger trying to protect the Maestro, but it's not quite enough in this instance, as there's going to be a trade of health, and all 5 Virginia Tech attackers are still left alive. 6 will take out Huggy now, leaving in a 5v1, and Maestro's going to have a whole lot of work to do, but not quite getting it done, as Bookshelf will ice out his 3K and take down Noob Smasher for the flawless round for Virginia Tech.
That was a really nice shot. But yeah, that was a clean take. They took down the shields. They got the frags. Valk died to a Claymore. Seemed like nothing was going right for Merrill in that round. BT just won all their fights, and they also had a Zoff just walk down White Halls and just get a bunch of frags. So that's pretty big for them, and convincing win upstairs. So if your third floor isn't working, if your kitchen isn't working, you have to win some defenses. So they're going to go back up third and try it again. They're doing a non-Gueo strat, unless they're going to 6 to him, which is going to be interesting to see how they adjust their defense to account for the fact that they got wiped. They didn't even get a frag.
Yeah, and it's definitely something to be shown that this is University of Maryland's map pick, as after the first map being Consulate, which was Virginia Tech's pick, falling into the favor of Maryland, I definitely was expecting UMD, to come out really strong on Cafe. However, it's been Virginia Tech surprising us and putting together 2 really strong attacks on these first 2 rounds.
Yeah, so they are going back to the Gueo. They 6 to it again. So we're going to see a similar setup. I wonder if they're going to try something different or just say, hey, we just lost fights. Let's just go with the same setup. But yeah, it looks like same exact comps for both. So we'll see if anything changes from their takes. They had a Jaeger really far pushed up. The Gueo on Pixel wasn't very effective. He didn't get any frags there. He just they shot his shield and then he died for free repeaking. So I wonder if they'll change up that specific setup. But we'll see.
Yeah, the Goyo did just get pressured by 3 attackers. Not a whole lot he can do. It's almost like he was on a little bit of an island. However, we are seeing Huggy going on to the Mozzie instead of the Valkyrie he played last round. Gonna try to deny some intel instead of bringing it for his fellow defenders, as these drones did provide so much cover and information for the attackers last round. Now Noob Smasher will be just placing a little bit of barbed wire down on White to try to cover his back, give a little bit of a sound cue to see if possibly any of these attackers could sneak up on him. But if you hit some barbed wire, your sound is going to propagate all over that stairwell, and your position is going to be known quite handily.
Yeah, so we're going to see the fabled mute Mozzie combo, and this droning is going to be very hard for them. But the pick is huge because in a 5v5, droning is huge, right? Because you need to get map control, you have to clear roamers, you have to take site. But once you start getting a man advantage, you can start cutting some corners, so you don't have to account for as many people on the map. And this mute Mozzie combo is going to stop a lot of util, but if they are losing fights and their roamers are dying and their site is collapsing, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and we did see Partial go ahead and get the first pick onto JS, getting a little bit too aggressive on that piano window. Now the rest of his attackers are just going to flourish straight on into piano and take a whole lot of map control for very little cost. The rest of these defenders are pushing back and going to try to hold this Pallet's White area. That's a whole lot of utilities getting dumped all over, as Virginia Tech might look to start going for a plant soon. So Thatcher was going to go ahead and disable one of those Maestro cams, and the rest of his teammates are just set up in piano, but Noob Smasher will take out Bookshelf, but Parcel will get a refrag onto Gnome God, playing over towards White Palace area. Now Manny from Ice Age is going to get on a quick swing onto Parcel, and that's the IQ off the board, as the SMG-11 of Mute does prove to be a little bit too dangerous in this close proximity fight.
Yeah, this is stark contrast to how they played it before with Echo and Smoke. They don't have much plant denial. They have C4s, that's about it. Maestro's got destroyed, and all of them are on one side of the map. The Mozzie dropped down, which is huge. He might determine this round. He might get a free pick. But they don't have much intel on location of plant. You're just going to have to use sound to use it. But we'll see if his C4 ends up determining the round, as we have a 3v3 with 30 seconds left. Not a lot of time, and a huge pick by 6. So this might collapse the entire defense.
Yeah, and collapsing 6 does, as he is going to get downed from the initial shotgun blast here. But now it does seem as if Florian does the really smart play and jumps on top of the bar, which was a huge play. That was Galaxy Brain. He topped on top of the bar so he could not get nitroed from below, as the Mozzie would have been able to stop that plant quite easily, but the big brain of Florian was just 2 steps ahead, as now Virginia Tech will go up 3-0 on Cafe and are looking to have quite a commanding lead, as 6 is going flawless and so is Florian. They have not died yet, so there's definitely going to have to be some changes coming out from the Maryland side, as they're going to go ahead and go back to Kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, they're 0 for 2 on third, so might as well give Kitchen another shot, see if they can change it. I think that last round, Trevor with the huge Galaxy Brain play, right? Just like playing on top of the bar, but Thomas getting that kill as Buck just collapsed the entire defense. You saw the Mute couldn't handle that many angles. He tried to kill the Buck, and then he died from Freezer. That one pick just collapsed the entire defense, and the Moz was left in a 1v3, and he tried to hope nitro it. And yeah, so we'll see if they have to end up in another similar situation here, or if they're going to have a convincing defense, because they haven't won Kitchen yet, so maybe they'll turn around this round.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to have to get something going quite quickly, as there does seem to just be a mix-up of attackers as they're trying to find the exact composition that they do want. This time Gnome God will be taking the Jaeger, and Huggy will be sticking onto that castle with that UMP. Most people don't like that gun, but if you hit your heads, as we know in Siege, it is a one-shot headshot for any weapon. There's going to be some castle barricades trying to close off this bottom white stairs side of the first floor, but Parcel will be pushing in towards the main entrance and possibly just jumping straight into the bottom bar area. However, it does actually seem as if I'll eat my words, as the entire VTech team will be going upstairs for most likely a top-down roam clear.
Yeah, the first kitchen map, top-down room clear. Second round, they're going to do the same thing probably. There is no roamers from Maryland on second or third, so I don't know if anything's changed, but if ET gets this fast map control super quickly and starts just tearing up the floor, I don't know if the outcome's going to be that much different, because it seemed pretty convincing the first time that they did it. So we'll see if Maryland has any resistance to them taking second and third floor.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that came out from Virginia Tech was just how many picks they got through their vertical play. As soon as the soft breach started happening, the Bucks started causing mayhem in sight, as well as there were a couple more operators sitting up in piano, looking through those holes that the master key made. Here we are seeing Manny from Ice Age just peeking out on that similar angle on the rotate hole inside of Small Bakery, trying to pick anybody that might be unfortunate enough to go over towards Christmas Tree area. 6 has opened up a whole lot of lines of sight, but he will take a lot of damage for peeking a little bit too aggressive, as Noob Smasher's MP7 down below is quite a deadly weapon indeed. Here we're seeing JS go on bottom white, trying to push anybody who might be pushing just a little bit back, but Bookshelf is all the way down brown stairs, and neither of these operators or players seem to know the precise location, and they are right next to each other.
Yeah, it seems like Tech got fast map control again, right? Same pacing. Minute 38 around-ish, they started tearing up the floor. And because of that, they're afforded a lot of time to clear out all these off-site players. But again, the Doc gets a frag. The frags are equal right now. We got a 4v4, and this Mozzie is pretty much trapped. I guess he's hoping he doesn't get cleared, and currently he's not. But I'm not convinced that he'll be able to stay alive for long, as the Buck actually ends up going down.
Yeah, and that's 6 off the board. Has been quite deadly of an operator, but now the Mozzie will be trying this late flank onto bottom white. Will spot out the Thatcher, but he will be refragged instantly out by Kirimer on the Hibana. Bookshelf will also throw a kill into the mix onto Huggy, and now Noob Smasher is in a 1v2 situation. He's all the way over in Bakery, and he does have the intel from this bulletproof cam on the location of Bookshelf. I don't know who has the diffuser right now, as Kirimer is all the way upstairs. And he's going to have to drop straight into sight as Noob Smasher gets his second kill of the round. Is now Kirimer's going to have to get this diffuser down in sort of an awkward situation, but he does get off, unfortunately, and the round will finally fall into the favor of University of Maryland.
He got off with, like, no time left. That's a little weird. Usually you get off, with, like, 2 or 3 seconds left, so you can try to pick somebody trying to get you. But he didn't have any time when he got off, so that was a little strange.
Yeah, definitely probably a little bit of jitters on that clutch situation. It's not the best time to be in, as once the clock hits 0, with that 7-second plant time, you are just a sitting duck, as most people will say. And as soon as you hear the footsteps of that bandit running at you with 3 speed, there's not a whole lot you can do, and possibly in that instance, he was just trying to save a little bit of KD to make his stats look better.
Yeah, my guess is he got off right at 0 seconds to try to get, like, a really quick pick. But yeah, I mean, at that point, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a gamble. You probably have to stick. If you don't have time to replant after you peek, I don't really like getting off unless it's, like, very niche situation. He's, like, rushing at you. But yeah, they're going back upstairs, and they're 0 for 2 there. So we'll see if VT can bring it back by getting a third convincing upstairs take, or if Maryland can actually put up some resistance and win upstairs.
Yeah, we're gonna see Gnome God playing the Bandit for the first time, actually using these batteries to try to deny some breachability, as once Virginia Tech has been able to get Piano, each time they've been breaching straight into sight, and they've had these really good lines of sight that created a whole lot of pressure for the rest of these defenders trying to hold their angles. So now maybe they just know that they're not going to be able to hold Piano because of the onslaught of Virginia attackers is just too much. So they're just going to sort of back off a little bit and try to make them have to clear the batteries. It's also JS is playing below in Garage, going to try to get a little bit of a sneaky pick, possibly on a repelling attacker, as he does hear the initial repel here right next to him, but Kirimer will be watching. Where did they go?
Yeah, I think...
Oh, he just missed it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it's usually once Parcel goes onto that window, I have seen Kirimer holding down that staircase right next to... He's been holding that door right next to the van. He's been on a prone angle. But it does seem as if Parcel's just going to enter in a different area this time. They're going to switch up their attack just that little bit and make that adjustment that Maryland has made just a little bit useless.
Yeah, I'm curious if the Jaeger's going to end up rotating off, or if he's going to stay there looking for a pick.
And he will?
Yeah, he will. So nothing came to fruition of that, but he also didn't die, so I guess that's kind of like not a win, not a loss. They are droning sight effectively, even though they have the Mozzie Mute combo. So that hasn't really hindered them. I don't know if the Bandit is Bandit tricking. If not, then they can probably open this. Yeah, he's not. So they can probably open Freezer for free anyway. They just have to use one of the Thatchers. So we'll see if they end up doing that. But right now, man advantage. Again.
Yeah, and that man advantage comes off the back of Florian getting the opening pick onto the Jaeger of JS. And now some more shots will come out as Bookshelf is aggressively peeking the Heaven player with that great assault rifle of Zofia. Now the Maestro will reload, get 81 more bullets, but the Buck is down inside a Piano. Now Zofia is trying to use these lines of sights that have been opened by the soft breach to remove any of these extra attackers that are playing over towards the white pallets stairs area. So now with 50 seconds left, it's still a 5v4. However, 6 is quite low on the HP, so you could say maybe it's a 4.5 versus 4. So now A Claymore will go out of Parcel as they're going to try to not relinquish any of this piano control. Huggy will take out Florian and will be able to take back up Noob Smasher. However, it will be a life for a life as Bookshelf will take out the reviving Mozzie as Manny will finally take out 6. So now Kiermer and Parcel are on quite low HP with Manny and Ice Age still, as well as Gnome God being on full. Noob Smasher will take out Kiermer, as now it's a 2v3. It does seem as if Maryland has brought this round back into their control, as this Maestro is in a very powerful position with that Alda gun, as well as Gnome God just taking out the last player. So now, as we said earlier, there's just going to be Bookshelf sitting in a sitting duck position, and Noob Smasher will end out that round.
Yeah, they ended up in a 3v3 over a lot of trade frags. And it just seemed to come down to time. I mean, they got piano. They did the same things they did all the time. But for this round, they didn't get some of the frags. The Maestro actually was in a pushed up position instead of way back as he usually is. And that actually got him a frag and wasted a bunch of time. So that was a pretty interesting adjustment, playing a player more aggressively. And it actually ended up helping them out as BT just ran out of time and ran out of people.
Yeah, and that's always what we say is time is always in the favor of the defenders. That's why operators such as Goyo are just so powerful, where they can just waste that time as much as possible. Because as soon as the clock hits 0, you're either planting in a sitting duck position as an attacker, or the round's just over in favor of the defenders. So, whenever you have one of these defenders who can just waste a lot of time, they're just so powerful. But now we will finally see second floor being utilized for Maryland, as we're gonna finally get to see a different sort of setup, as this is the first time that they're picking this site. However, most likely this site is one of those sites that you have to hold third floor, similar to what we saw on Lobby of Consulate.
Yeah, it used to be mining was the third site for this when there were only 3 sites. And do you feel that reading is significantly better than mining?
I do.
Okay.
Sort of just after the rework of all of the soft destruction in those instances,
Yeah.
holding mining was just so difficult because it just lined up so well with the stairway of red. You had to hold
Mhm.
all of pillars, you had to hold everything. You had to essentially hold all of second floor as well as being in third floor, with just the ability to breach and drop straight into sight. But now as you hold into reading, there's not a whole lot of soft destruction you can do up there. But
Yeah.
the best thing is that you can just really hold this site really similarly to how you hold the third floor. You have the same sort
Mhm.
of where you would have anchors and positions for the third floor site. You would just have roamers this time as you defend the second floor. As you can sort of create pillars area as it being really open. You can make that into like sort of a death trap. And speaking of death, Kiermer will fall a Noob Smasher, getting really aggressive with that Jaeger 416C, and that's the hard breacher off the board for Virginia Tech, and that's sort of going to spell the end of any sort of pillars take that they might have wanted.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Their heart breach going down. I don't know the circumstances of his death exactly, but I mean, the hard breacher going down is never good, especially on sites that require some sort of hard breach to get anywhere. But we also see, again, the Mozzie mute combo and a Goyo setup. So they're doing a very, very similar setup to third, except they're playing a dock now. And we get to see Manny frag out on dock. But right now, yeah, Maryland, they have the man advantage. It's a minute and a half, and the T's haven't really done that much. They just got rid of the Goyo on white. So it's to see if how they fare against this white setup by the defenders. They have 3 people committed to this one hallway.
Yeah, and it does seem as if each one of these are going to have a backfiring, trying to hold each other's back, but Parcel will take out the dock of Manny from Ice Age, as some more shots will come out from straight beneath him, but unfortunately the Zofia will not fall. So now the third floor site is finally fully relinquished to the attackers, as the mute is playing below white stairs, trying to wait for these attackers to come down and meet his shotgun. But Florian's going to go ahead and redesign this roof and try to find anybody just sitting around. But when he finds a Noob Smasher, he was ready and goes ahead and pops the head off of Florian and takes another kill into the favor of Maryland.
I'm curious Are they gonna go through pillars this way? Because they don't have a hard breacher. So I guess they'll just kind of run in and plant behind the shelf, and then have like support from above. That's their take. I'm assuming they're running out of time though, and there's still C4s in place, so I'm not sure how effective they're gonna be at actually stopping these C4s. And the Jaeger's still here, so all things lost, he can still push and kill the planner like he's doing right now.
Ooh, and 10 seconds left on the board. Six will find his first kill of the round, but the Mozzie is using these holes above to his advantage, as he will just go ahead and pop a headshot on an easy kill and tie up the entire round total for Maryland. So now they will have a 3-3 side switch, and we'll get to see what Virginia Tech brings on defense this time.
Yeah, VT was off to a crazy start, right? They 3-0'd, and then they lost the next three. So either they dropped off or Maryland, rallied it back and changed their setup. But it's definitely interesting to see when we flip sides how convincing each team's attack and defense is going to be, as we have the Mozzie Mute combo on defense. Very similar. We see Six and Noob both top fragging for their teams. You don't really have that much action going from Will or Gnome God, so we'll see if that changes as we have the Six to the Pulse. We get to see the Aiden Pulse as well as the Mute Mozzie combo, so that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that's a whole lot of intel bringing in as well as intel denying on that combination. And on a bomb site like third floor, that's definitely very powerful. Pulse can run absolutely rampant below and sort of be able to, because of how the site is set up, he can nitro cell any plant spot, besides if you climb on top of the bar, which we saw Florian do last time. However, if you're not in a clutch situation, you have one more player alive, maybe sitting over towards Cocktail. As soon as you jump up onto one of those safe spots, quote unquote, from the Pulse, it's not very safe from the rest of the anchors. So as soon as that Pulse is being spotted out, possibly on drones, it's going to put a lot of fear into these Maryland attackers, and they're definitely going to have to keep his presence in the back of their mind.
Yeah, the other thing you need to watch for is last map, Maryland started out by not really wanting the room clear, and they never really committed to a hard room clear at all during their attack. So if Pulse is allowed to run a ramper downstairs, that might be huge for VT in terms of clutching some of these rounds.
I think the biggest
sort of. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the biggest thing that could be really dangerous for Maryland on the other side is that they actually have the Capital this time, and he brings just so much utility. Having 2 smokes and 2 firebolts is so much help for planting, as you can smoke off lines of sight, as well as just to burn the feet of anybody who wants to sit in one of those safe corners. Here we're seeing Pulse taking a lot of intel out, and knowing that these attackers are repelling over towards this west side of Piano, he's going to relay that information to his fellow defenders, and they are going to be able to possibly rotate around and know exactly where to trap the rest of these attackers as they have to drop in on these hatches.
Yeah, and I think you definitely touched on it. Cap is huge. I love Cap on third for Cafe, because you can fire an arrow off areas like Freezer or Pixel or any other area like that where it would normally be ADS'd up. And you also get the smokes for when you want to plant. You can smoke off, anything from the other site. So Cap's definitely a huge asset that Virginia Tech didn't choose to use. So we'll see if Maryland actually uses him very effectively here.
Oh, and now we will see Parcel taking the first kill onto JS, using that scanner to find the location. However, he will be instantly refragged out by Huggy's Thatcher. And I think the biggest thing about the Capital is the fact that he can sit on the skylight and get his utility down. However, he will be dropping onto red, as Maryland does seem to want to take some Piano control. But as the time dwindles down to a minute, they are going to have to start pushing in quite quickly, as Six's Jaeger is sitting on that pixel corner that is so dangerous.
Yeah, I think stark contrast that we've seen between the two teams is Maryland's attacks were much slower pace, and they're be running into, oh my god, quick double from Six. Could be a third one as he's re-peeking. He really wants these frags, especially when they're pinged for him, basically wall hacks for him. There are 2 defenders left, and they're both stuck in piano as 6 continually peaks, but, they bring one back, so it's a 3v2, and it still might be winnable as he keeps peaking.
Here, and peeking is the Maestro Cam, as well as Manny from Ice Age is just taking a whole lot of damage from that Evil Eye, as well as the damage he's taking from the time dwindling away. Six is riding right next to him and will steal the downed player. He's also right behind the final attacker, but Noob Smasher will take out Bookshelf. He will start the plant down as his exact location is not known. Six is looking furiously for him and will find him to secure his 4K for the round.
Yeah, he took a little while to find him, but he eventually found him and won it. That was pretty big from him, I think. I mean, back-to-back kills in Pixel, that basically shut down their attack. They wasted a lot of time. They were trying to take Piano with less than a minute left, which is pretty late for them. And then they just kind of tried to run on site and plant, but yeah, not having enough time to adequately drone, adequately use like Capital. Like you could have capped and fired Pixel and then taken Piano there. They weren't able to slow down and take it incrementally and take it effectively because they were rushed for time. And as a result, he got a 4K.
Yeah, and that's the kind of plays you want to see from your Jaegers. That is your primary roamer, and you're the player you want getting the most kills, as that 416C carbine is arguably the strongest weapon on defense, as it can just absolutely rip through attackers, as we saw when he peeked out from Pixel. 2 players just lined up, and 2 bullets just split the heads of those attackers. But we are going to see a transition all the way downstairs into kitchen, and we are seeing a castle being brought, very similar to how the Maryland defenders brought it up. However, what's different is there's not going to be a breach denial operator.
Okay. Yeah. They opt for... You see the Jaeger putting a ADS behind Bakery, so they might be trying to do some sort of setup around there with the smoke, perhaps. That would be pretty interesting. And then you have the castles on the other side. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty sick setup. We'll see if it actually pans out for them.
Yeah, and we are actually seeing a rotate hole in Bakery, and this is one of these setups that we see a lot if you watch a good amount of Pro League. A lot of these teams like to really set up to a really deep horizontal hold, and they make Bakery one of those fluid rotations where you can go in and out of it with ease when you stick a gunner like Six maybe in this instance, because he's definitely feeling himself on this Jaeger. He could be playing behind small Bakery, just taking any gunfight he wants. But speaking of that, he's trying to find anybody just lingering outside on a spot for a little bit of a spawn peek. But these windows being opening is going to scare him away, as the buck is already down inside of the drop, and he most likely did not hear him, and he will get a free kill onto Six.
Yeah, and Bookshelf gets the frag too. Wow, that's pretty big. So both the roamers died within 30 seconds. So I would not say that their kitchen hold is off to a great start. I mean, Six just kind of died for free there. I'm not sure if he wasn't aware that they could be in that quickly, or he just didn't think they'd rush that quickly. But he was staying a little too long. And now we have a 3v5 that they have to somehow throw back, which could happen, but right now you got a minute and a half left. They have the man advantage. Maryland's taking map control. We're gonna have to see someone like Aiden frag out, or maybe they do a Bakery take and Valorian gets a bunch of frags. I'm not sure, but they seem to be doing a similar take to what VT did for Bakery, and if that's the case, I don't have high hopes for the 3v5 win.
Yeah, and now JS will be using that Bookmaster key to remove the entire roof from above these players, and they will now get a really good look at exactly how the site is set up. Most likely going to spot out these rotate holes and be able to sort of push in on the free rotations into sight. Using their man advantage, they most likely will be able to push in and take more map control, as the IQ is finally taking into bar, but Buck will go ahead and get a goo mine in his foot. Now Parcel will go down to Manny from Ice Age, just proving too strong in that instance, but Kirmo will get a refrag onto the Buck of JS. So now a 4v2 instance, Kiermer is going to have to keep on going here, but Florian will get Gnome God out with the SMG-11. He's going to take these close gunfights as strong as possible with that SMG-11, and Noob Smasher is still upstairs with the diffuser. However, it is looking like he's going to drop straight into freezer as that hatch is opened, but Manny from Ice Age will find Kiermer just slacking over towards the plate's location. The first smoke grenade from Valerian will miss, and he's in a 1v3 situation here as the diffuser is starting to go down. However, Manny from Ice Age is able to read into the rotation and will catch Valerian trying to vault, and will end the round.
Yeah, I think that was a good example of not enough people to get the site, right? You had 2 people left. They just walked in the kitchen and killed the Legion, who was watching Freezer, and then the smoke had to get towards Bakery and had to get towards Red. There's just too many angles to watch, too many entrances to watch, and not enough people. So I think the 2 roamers dying at right at the beginning of the round was really bad for them. That kind of doomed their hold from the beginning. But we'll see if they can bounce back, and they're going reading, which is kind of interesting because they still have kitchen available to them.
Yeah, and maybe they just didn't like how quickly their roamers died on kitchen.
Mhm.
As here, you're just sort of trying to kill as much time as possible to get back up to that 3rd floor that you won so commandingly here. But Maryland has actually tied the game up, which they were down 3-0 in this instance, and they're definitely on a bit of a hot streak. That might spell a little bit of danger from Virginia Tech, as once a team can catch fire, you can just keep on winning round after round after round. But we are going to see a very similar lineup coming out from Maryland, as well as a pretty similar lineup from Virginia Tech. However, Bookshelf will be switching from that castle onto the Bandit to try to make sure that a Pillar's Breach cannot occur.
Yeah, another thing is, last round, both their top fraggers died within 30 seconds. So, I think if that doesn't happen and they're actually able to contribute to the match and take some straight-up gunfights, we're going to see a lot different of a story. But, again, we'll see have some roamers on 3rd, have some people on 2nd. Looks like they're going to have some sort of upstairs hold to complement the fact that they have a 2nd floor site. So, we'll see if they can hold this. This is the worse site than kitchen, but they might feel more comfortable, especially because their kitchen, they did not look that comfortable on in terms of their roamers. And we have the defenders going bottom white, going from bottom up instead of top down, which is pretty common. And we'll see if that actually helps them, as they won't be running into many stacks if they go first 4.
Yeah, but I think the worst part about this was the fact that they were seen on that camera. Here, one of the defenders did go ahead and catch a glimpse off of that default camp as we saw it glowing blue. So that's why Valerian is sitting here holding this angle, waiting for somebody to possibly peek up, and it does look like it might be the Capitao. The shotgun is going to be quite good in close range. However, crazy things have happened now. The barbed wire being destroyed is going to fully drop out the location of now the IQ and the Capitao will both go down, as Valerian's shotgun is so powerful. Kiermer also went ahead and knocked out JS, and that's the buck off the ground too, as now Huggy and Noob Smasher are both hanging out on windows, as the rest of his team was not able to get the map control that they wanted, and it's sort of going to stagnate out this attack. However, for a combination to be left alive, a Thatcher with a hard breacher is one that could be quite good and quite helpful, as their synergy could still help them to break into sight, specifically over towards that pillars area that we saw Bookshelf on Bandit going ahead and using his batteries on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want a combo, 2 people left alive, this is not the worst option you can choose. I think the biggest thing that's gonna hurt them is they don't have map control, right? Look, this Bandit's all the way up in mining. He might get a free kill, which he does, and he's gonna be peeking again. Those the last guys outside. Near another frag. Close, both of them. Actually, not. He didn't even lit him at all. Bookshelf is pretty lit. They know the last guy's outside, and it's a 5v1. So this is you know, Huggy's time to shine. See if he's insane or something. I'm not sure what he's exactly gonna do here. Maybe run up red, but he might just walk straight into 6. And yeah, this is just a symptom of when you try to take map control and all the people clearing die, right? You have 2 people left outside. You can't really get anywhere, and defenders are everywhere. So, yeah, that was a flawless round. Looked a lot better than their kitchen.
Yeah, and now we are going to get to see them be able to go back upstairs and hopefully cross that 6-point threshold. That's what they're gunning for. They definitely want to try to at least lock out the full loss for them. They won at least the partial, which would only allow University of Maryland to get 2 points from this matchup as opposed to getting the full three. However, we are seeing the pulse being brought once again with that Mute Mozzie combination and the almost essentially the same lineup we've seen every round from Maryland. Over Manny from Ice Age will be on that Nomad, trying to reduce the roam of 6 in Parcel. He's going to try to mitigate their impact, as once those air jabs come off, it's going to be a lot more difficult for anybody to get back to site or to get behind any of these players.
Yeah, I'm usually more of a fan of Gridlock than Nomad on this map because staircases are point of access between floors. So, gridlocking off red and white is like pretty solid, but they might have something in mind for their Nomad. But we have a similar setup on defense. We have the Aiden Pulse again. We'll see if he finds more success with that. But I'm interested to see if VT is going to have a better hold, not the next time. And yeah, I mean, I feel like Maryland's got to win up and they've got to win reading, right?
Yes.
If they want to win this. And they did not look good on reading. So I'm curious if, like, how much they want to focus on that, or they just want to focus on winning this and then winning first. But yeah, we'll see. Pulse in the same spot, getting a bunch of information.
Yep, and now he is going to go ahead and relay that every single one of these attackers essentially are propelling all the way up top over towards Piano, as Gnome God is going to be aggressively peeking the Skylight. It is a very dangerous position to peek, but you can definitely catch a opponent off guard and sort of get a free kill if somebody's rotating haphazardly. So now some drone work coming in from Noob Smasher on the hard breach. We'll be meeting into some mute jammers as well as the Mozzie pests. And now they are seeing the exact setup that there is another Maestro camp, as well as a whole lot of utility dumped inside of Piano. However, it does seem as if there's not a player in there. So speaking of that, Six has rotated onto the pixel corner that he was so dangerous on last time. He's stopping any sort of window straight jump in, but these attackers are starting to stagnate just that little bit. JS is on an upside down repel waiting for a peek. However, it most likely will not happen, as Six is going to try to stay patient and stay alive, wasting as much time as possible.
I wonder if they're going to rotate over with Caps to try to get the Jaeger out of that position. Because I don't think just full-on swinging him is going to work out. They tried that a few rounds ago. But, yeah, he's playing with fire there, but he manages to get out, which is pretty big because... but Aiden gets found, so they got a man advantage, but they only have a minute left, and they just got Piano. So we'll see if time is a factor in what ends up happening.
Yep, so being a man down, Virginia Tech is definitely going to have to try to get some picks to swing it back in their favor, as all of these attackers are in some very powerful positions inside of Piano. The Maestro cams are still up, however, and feeding intel to the rest of the team, and Six is using some soft wall holes to break into some lines of sight. Now, the camera will be shot out as JS is trying to use his lifeline to see if anybody's over towards the white pallets area. Six's location is unknown here, so he's going to go ahead and swing and take down JS. Now in a 4v4 situation, Camera also puts his name into the hat and takes out Gnome God, but Noob Smasher will go ahead and refrag onto Six and onto Kirimer as he takes aggressive freezer control. Manny from Ice Age is also going to swing up and take down Bookshelf. It's another diffuser's going down. It's just left up to Florian in a retake situation here, but somebody's watching white, and Manny from Ice Age will go ahead and finish out this round and tie the game back up for Maryland.
Yeah, that looks pretty okay for Virginia Tech, and then Noob just kind of walked in and killed two people, and that gave them sight. So yeah, at the last moment they just kind of took sight and it collapsed. So that was really good for Maryland. And yeah, we have this 5-5. So Maryland needs to only win one more to have the partial win, and yeah, we'll see if they can actually take third again.
Yep, and so with 2 rounds left remaining, we need to see VTech win either round or both rounds to try to get any points out of this. And if they are to lose any of the rounds, one of these last 2, they will just be locked out as a partial win for Maryland will lead them on 2 points, and Virginia Tech will unfortunately get 0. That's how partial wins work in this instance here. However, we can see if Virginia Tech will win both, and then it'll be a full tie. Both teams will get 1, which could be quite impactful as we are going into the final week, as both of these teams, I do believe, are going into the relegation bracket. As the rest of open playoffs is beginning, it's going to be the top 8 of that open playoffs will be going against the bottom 8 of invite to sort of see who is going to get to play in this league next season.
Yeah, so we have similar setup from VT, and I mean it's been the same setup for upstairs almost every time. So we'll see if anything changes. Probably just their positioning. Aiden might be a little bit more aggressive, trying to go for picks. I think that actually didn't work out for him last round, but it might change this round. And yeah, we'll see if anything changes. Thomas has found a lot of success playing Pixel, so I'm not sure if Maryland's going to end up rotating and having their Capital actually Firebolt Pixel, which they haven't done yet, and
They
it
did
could
last
actually
round.
help them. Oh, they did last round?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did it from
Well,
the
they
window
might
last
continue
round.
to do that. I assume they'd continue to do that because it's pretty good for them to get piano quickly because they've been pretty slow on these attacks. So speeding it up would be nice for them so they don't have to time scramble at the end if they end up not getting all the fights going their way.
Yeah, but sometimes slow and steady does win the race, as Maryland has been stringing together quite a few attacking rounds, but Six is going to try to fix that one this time. But as some drones are coming out, his exact location on that pixel corner that he's played every round is finally confirmed. As, oh, he does unfortunately
Oh.
just peek a little bit too much, and JS will get the opening pick and take 6 off the board. So now piano control is into the hands of the attacker, and that is quite quick. The lifeline is going to take off the Maestro cam, and this hatch is going to be used to try to find the location of the pulse here, as Florian does miss the first shotgun shot, unfortunately, onto the aggressive Nomad, and he will fall to Manny from Ice Age. Now in a 2v5 situation, Kiermer and Bookshelf are going to definitely have their work cut out for them. Some drone work is going to go in, as Manny from Ice Age unfortunately will fall to Kiermer, putting it to a 2v4. Here Nomad is holding a good angle, as well as Kiermer trying to keep Ice some white control here. So yeah, the rest of this round is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, quick picks for them. They found really fast frags. They got piano control very fast. So everything's looking up for Maryland, and they're in the man advantage, and not sure there's much that they can do, especially with Kiermer at 1 HP. 4v2, and the bomb is going down currently, so I think it'd be quite miraculous if VT could bring this back. But Will with another kill, and he might get a third unless the Zoff kills him here. And so it's a 1v3 for Maestro, and he dropped. He went downstairs.
Yeah, and he's most likely going to meet a Claymore right here. However, his eyes will be able to find out those 3 red lasers. So now 81 bullets left in the Alda is definitely doable to get this out, but Gnome God is going to peek out and end that hope, as Maryland now crosses that 6-round threshold and secures at least a partial win for this series.
Yeah, I mean that was just convincing from them. They got quick picks, they got early control, they took site effectively, they got plant down, and then they had all the covers, all their flanks clear. So BT wasn't really in it after they went down to be a 2v4. So we'll see if they can bring it back to tie on this map and see if they can hold Maryland to a partial win as we go back to reading, which is the only site that VT is undefeated on still, as they're 1-0, and they picked this after Kitchen. So looks like similar setup as they had before. So we'll see if they are a Stonewall again, or if Maryland can clutch the win and get the easy 2-0, and by easy I mean 7-5 twice.
Yeah, 7-5 twice is definitely the closest 2-0 you can get. That's one of those score lines that definitely lies. As you see a full win, you definitely think like, oh, they dominated them. But 7-5, 7-5 is just any one of those rounds could go either way. Either team could win it out. So sometimes stats do sort of tell an untrue story. However, the true story of this will be that there's a whole lot of pressure on Virginia Tech to try to win this round. At this point, they are playing for pride because getting that partial loss doesn't really offer them a whole lot of points wise. It doesn't give them a big benefit points wise, but it does morale wise. As you are just knowing that if you steal this round, you're also just stealing a point away from Maryland. You're locking them out of getting 3 points, and they only get 2. So that definitely could be leading into the egos of VTech as they're going to be hungry to try to finish this out. However, on the other side, Maryland is going to try to assert their dominance fully and finish this out and bring one of their full wins that they kind of need in this instance, as relegations do loom quite large off in the distance.
Yeah, and we can see doing an upstairs take. I believe they did a bottom up take last time they did this site, so we're gonna see something a little bit different from them. Nobody's gonna be fast garage, and yeah, we'll see if they'll see significant resistance because you're gonna have some sort of stack on third floor. If the Jaeger up here, I think you might have another op or two. Looks like 3 people are upstairs, so we'll see if VT can hold this strong or if Maryland can just wipe top floor and then take site.
Yeah, and there's an absolute onslaught of drones going in, feeding all this intel into the entry fraggers of Maryland, as Noob Smasher is all the way in already on that Habana, as well as JS playing aggressive with this Ash, making some punch holes, trying to catch somebody rotating up white. The breaching is now going down with those X-Cairo pellets of Noob Smasher, creating some more entrance and a lot more danger for these anchors, or they're technically roamers, but they're just anchoring and hunkering upstairs as much as possible. Parcel will get the opening pick onto Gnome God, and that's the Capital off the board, removing all of that extra plant utility that we rave about here. But now the Habana will also be breaching a path into Train, which could offer a good sort of secondary option for these attackers if they are not able to fully clear this top floor. As now Manny from Ice Age will be pushing all the way into Freezer as 6 goes down at the hands of GIS. Parcel will also be falling back and relinquishing full control as Noob Smasher finds another one onto Bookshelf. Now the Nomad's getting a little bit aggressive here and will down JS as Parcel will pick up that kill and most likely will be able to pick up 6 and bring him back into the fight.
That was huge because instead of the Legion being caught out and the Jaeger dying, we actually have the Legion getting a frag and saving one. And even though the Legion ended up going down, they got a trade frag. So now it's a 3v2. And looks like they're trying to get a plant down, and the smoke is somewhat effective at stopping the plant, but he's going to end up killing the smoke. So now, and with the Maestro cam gone, it's going to be interesting to see how those stop plant.
Yeah, and now it's just going to be these footholes here, trying to help find maybe a sliver to take out this planter. However, Kiermer will just pop off his head straight up, and now Huggy is just by himself. He will find out Kiermer onto the Maestro. However, 6 is going to be just sitting in a very passive area and just waiting patiently until the time goes out. And so that will be a partial win to University of Maryland. They will get 2 points, and we also will be bringing in one of their players for an interview, which interviews are some of my favorite times of casting. You really get to go inside the heads of these players and really get to know what's on the other side. You get to a little peek into their comms, and you get to know what was going on that we can't necessarily read into.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as close as it gets, right? 1 second left, they're right next to each other, but yeah, they end up getting the partial win. So Maryland gets 2 points here, VT gets none, and we're gonna be hearing from one of the Maryland guys.
Yeah, and I
Looks like
just
it's gonna be
heard that
JS.
yes, Maryland is going to be giving us JS, who we definitely saw be a very strong fragger on both of these maps. So it will be really nice to see exactly what his perspective on a lot of these rounds were. We'll definitely try to get some good commentary as he comes in.
Yeah, we're gonna be hearing from him momentarily. But yeah, I mean, that was very close map. VT started 3-0, and then yeah, they Maryland took it back, and it was pretty decisive once they started winning, snowballing their attacks, and end up
Yeah,
being pretty close.
yeah, and it's definitely like we like to say that Cafe is very defender sided. However, both of these halves went 3-3. So 6 wins for the attackers, 6 wins for the defenders, split 3 apiece. on the prospective halves. So we will be getting in JS momentarily. And there he is right now. Hello, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I think we're doing pretty well. Congratulations on your partial win.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
So, yeah, M16, do you have any questions to ask him? You can go ahead and lead off.
Oh boy. I guess I don't want to jump maps, but I did have a question. You guys were down 0-3 on Cafe, and then you ended up bringing it back. Like, what was the mindset? Like, how'd you bring it back from 0-3? Did you guys just change setups? Or like, what was the switch that happened that got you guys back in the game?
If I remember correctly, we went back downstairs on the L3 round, and we made a couple mistakes with the way we played that setup. We got a little bit too antsy on like the flanks, and we really just wanted to kind of stick on the extremities and hold them as the entry. So after we went back to that site, we just decided to like kind of stick to the plan, like dedicate to holding entries on the site, holding from outside. And I think once we got the ball rolling on the defenses, it was kind of just we were able to kind of sweep through the rest of them. We had some close calls. I made some really bad decisions that first defensive half, but the rest of the guys kind of just stepped up and like kept their cool, and that was kind of how we like finished off that half strong.
Yeah, and so I have to say, I want to talk a little bit about map bans because I know looking at when I did my little bit of scouting when we played you guys, that you definitely do seem to like consulate just that little bit. So, what exactly was going on in your head after the map bans as you saw the maps being consulate and cafe?
So these are the same maps we played against them last time. For me personally, as an IGL, like I've always loved consulate. It's by far, it's like definitely a map that I feel at home on. Both as an IGL and individually. So once we got there, I felt like pretty confident we could get at least one. And then Cafe, the team's kind of up in the air in Cafe. I mean, we don't really have a map pool. We kind of just play what we were given. So I think we felt that it might take some time to settle in, but if we got to a decent start on the defensive half, then we might have a strong showing. And I think the bans on defense definitely helped for Cafe. So that was kind of the thought process after the bans went through.
Okay, and also, how is this partial win gonna sort of add to your momentum as you look towards prepping for relegation battle?
Definitely helps. I mean, they're a strong team. They got some good players. I mean, definitely anyone helps the confidence, you know. So we're definitely it's definitely a good one to get right before relegation start.
Do you have anything else to say, M16?
I could do one more question, I think. So both those maps, you ended up going to 12 rounds, and you ended up you were up 6-5. So obviously some setups didn't work, some setups work. So as an IGL, is it hard for you when like you can't consistently win certain floors, or you end up going to the 12 rounds? Like, is that tough to call? And like going into that 12th round, like you have to win this to not get the tie. Is that like a lot of pressure, or were you guys confident that you could 7-5?
I think on consulate we were definitely confident. I think that I think as long as we were pretty handily winning the two primary sites. So I think the fact that we had to go back to defense with a Thatcher ban, and we kind of cleaned up on the round before. So I was pretty confident in that one. On Cafe, on attack, 6-5, that's a little bit shakier. I think you're kind of, as an IGL, you're trying to think about what works, and you're thinking about anything that they might change. I thought they were going to go back to the top floor that last round, or I thought they were going to go to the basement actually that last round. And that's why I brought out the Ash pick, that definitely hurt. I didn't really have the gun that I would have wanted for me personally on that. So that was a little bit of a poor assumption on my part. But I think generally when the rounds are tight, you're really just looking to like fall back on what you're comfortable with. You're looking to you're looking for the little things that they can exploit. A flank turn that they miss, like a player you catch out of position. Things like that is kind of, I think, how I handle the close things is just like calling back to the rounds before and like what they've shown us, and just like trying to pick out the little pieces that I think that I can exploit.
Alrighty, so that'll go ahead and we'll close out this interview. And before we close out the stream, I think we really need to thank our wonderful sponsors. As if you need a little bit of pep in your step, we can go ahead and use our big sponsor of Rogue Energy to really kick a little bit of life in you. You can use their energy supplement to put that extra pep in your step, as well as if you check out with code CEA, you will get 10% off. In addition to that, CORSAIR has also joined our team of sponsors this year, as they've helped us with a whole lot of giveaways and some good things into the prize pool. If you need any good peripherals as well as any other computer parts, you can go ahead and go over to Corsair to make sure you get some high quality products. In addition to high quality products, What's New.gg has also entered the ring with us, as they also have been launching a whole new CEA merch line. So if you go ahead and go over to the website, there's now a new tab on CEA Siege that'll bring you straight to What's New.gg. You can see all of our wonderful merch. There's a wall scroll, there's 2 mouse pads, there's the beautiful dad hats that I love so much, as well as men's and women's joggers. So you also need to go ahead and come out tomorrow night, as we will have another stream at 9 p.m. where it will be Rutgers taking on New York Institute of Technology. That'll be casted by Keldev and Bluecoin, who are 2 wonderful casters. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I've been CDAPS.
And I've been M16 Man 66.